Chapter 500, Chapter 500, Chapter 271, The Nine Nether Demon Sect Retreats, Heading Towards the Secret Realm _2, Chapter 500, Chapter 271, The Nine Nether Demon Sect Retreats, Heading Towards the Secret Realm _2, Lease reading Omicronim novel cool. Omicronim, as for him, he had also suffered a severe injury, once. However, it wasn't because his strength was insufficient, but because he was sneak attacked by a powerful figure from the Nether Demon Sect. After retreating from the battlefield, he had recuperated for nearly half a month. After that lesson, he never went all out in any battle, always reserving a portion of his mental focus to guard against sudden sneak attacks. In fact, most of the powerful fighters on the battlefield were like him. As for those who fought fiercely with their powerful opponents, their ultimate fate was nearly always death. So far, among the 10-odd Golden Core Realm experts that both sides had lost, most of them had not died by the hands of their opponents, but been killed by sneak attacks instead. Golden Core Realm experts had too many life-saving methods, so it was very difficult to kill them. In addition to defeating them with absolute power, the only other way was to catch them off guard with a sneak attack. A celestial human has fallen, and that aura belongs to the Red Moon Demon, Sect's celestial human. It seems that in this battle, our demon suppression army has taken the upper hand. Once the Red Moon Demon Sect is defeated, your 9 Nether Demon Sect will soon follow in their footsteps. The 4th Army Commander of the Demon Suppression Army, when Renwu spoke coldly. The fall of a celestial human was different from that of an ordinary Golden Core Realm expert. Even for a top-ranked sect like the Red Moon Demon Sect, they would be at the peak of their combat power. The fall of a single celestial human was enough to cause turbulence across the entire battlefield. Upon hearing this, the sect master of the 9 Nether Demon Sect, Qin Shan Venerable, showed a hint of coldness in his eyes, but his attacks did not cease. It's just a temporary gain or loss, and it doesn't matter. As long as the Red Moon Demon Sect leader, Gai Juyo, hasn't fallen, the true outcome is still unknown. He wasn't sure how things were going on the other side. At this time, most of the power of the 9 Nether Demon Sect was invested here, and part of the power was supporting the Red Moon Demon Sect. Aside from that, the profound darkness domain only had the sect master guarding it. Now, what the 9 Nether Demon Sect really needed to do was to win this battlefield, causing the Demon Suppression Army's strength to suffer a great loss and preventing their further advance. Otherwise, the 9 Nether Demon territory would become the next Scarlet Moon Demon domain. By that time, the 9 Nether Demon Sect would have no room for maneuver. Boom. Another horrifying aftershock came from the original direction, followed by a fleeting, brilliant meteor. Another celestial human has fallen. Qin Shan Venerable's face changed abruptly as he gazed at the collapsing aura, and a feeling of powerlessness soon rose within him. He knew clear who the fallen celestial human was. It seems that Gai Juyo, whom you have high hopes for, has also perished. When Renwu smiled slightly, the fall of Gai Juyo meant that the last barrier of the Red Moon Demon Sect ceased to exist, and even if there were any remaining forces, they would not pose any threat to the Demon Suppression Army. Upon hearing this, Qin Shan Venerable cast a cold glance at his opponent, but didn't refute him at this moment. He knew in his heart that the situation was irreversible. Immediately, he stopped fighting with Renwu and spoke, his voice reaching the ears of all the 9 Nether Demon Sect experts. All disciples of the 9 Nether Demon Sect withdraw from the Scarlet Moon Demon domain immediately. Upon hearing this command, a large number of 9 Nether Demon Sect disciples and their subordinate forces began to retreat. Having already been at a disadvantage, their hurried retreat led to their immediate collapse. Issue my command, pursue and kill the martial artists of the 9 Nether Demon Sect for 100,000 miles, until they have all left the Scarlet Moon demon domain. The moment his words fell, he too attacked ruthlessly, launching his boundless divine palm towards Qin Shan Venerable. Although he knew he couldn't stop his opponent, he couldn't let him escape easily either. If he could entangle his opponent long enough for reinforcements to arrive, perhaps they could kill him and weaken the 9 Nether Demon Sect's power in one fell swoop. If it weren't for the Heavenly Mystery Sword Sect, the Green Cloud Sect, and other forces sitting on the sidelines, the Red Moon Demon Sect would not have fallen so quickly. Qin Shan Venerable was filled with hatred in his heart, hating the demon suppression army of Morijin, and even more so those sects that stood idly by. In his view, the demon suppression army was powerful, but couldn't achieve enough force to crush the 100 sects completely. As long as the top sects united as one, they could keep the demon suppression army at bay in the nearby sea areas. Unfortunately, the Green Cloud Sect, the Heavenly Mystery Sword Sect, and others chose to stay out of the matter, allowing the demon suppression army to invade the nearby sea areas in succession. Now, even the Red Moon Demon Sect's 2 celestial humans had fallen. It wouldn't be long before the vast Scarlet Moon demon domain would fall into the hands of Morijin, and it would then serve as a springboard for the demon suppression army's continued invasion of the 100 sects. The anger and hatred in his heart did not cloud Qin Shan Venerable's reason. He retreated while dealing with Wenrenwis attacks. At the same time, another venerable from the 9 Nether Demon Sect retreated from the Scarlet Moon demon domain under the pursuit of a demon suppression army vice commander. This pursuit lasted for 100,000 miles before the demon suppression army stopped after fully leaving the Scarlet Moon demon domain. The Scarlet Moon demon domain was far larger than the White Lotus domain, Profound Darkness domain, and other territories. The Red Moon Demon Sect still had some remnants, and if not dealt with, they would pose a significant threat. Therefore, the Demon Suppression Army would not enter the 9 Nether Demon territory before completely eliminating the hidden dangers of the Scarlet Moon Demon domain. It's finally over. After killing the last Rune Seed Realm Peak expert, Lu Yun felt a sense of relief. After Gai Jiu's fall, the Red Moon Demon Sect had been completely defeated and pursued by the Demon Suppression Army. This pursuit had spanned almost half of the Scarlet Moon Demon domain, and among those who escaped from the battlefield, there were only a dozen or so Golden Core Realm experts and a handful of Rune Seed Realm experts. All the others had fallen under the Demon Suppression Army's ruthless slaughter. With this, the war on this part of the Void battlefield was finally over. Chapter 501, Chapter 501, Chapter 271, the 9 Nether Demon Sect retreats, heading towards the Secret Realm _3, Chapter 501, Chapter 271, the 9 Nether Demon Sect retreats, heading towards the Secret Realm _3. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron standing in the void. Looking back, the path was littered with numerous corpses strewn across the heavens and earth. The blood stained every inch of the Scarlet Moon demon domain, every inch of the mountains and rivers emanating a strong evil chi. In this war, not to mention the fall of the celestial humans, there were dozens of Golden Core realm powerhouses alone. In this war, although our Demon Suppression Army emerged victorious, the losses in heavenly level and earth-rank demon extermination generals were substantial. It will take decades to recover. Fortunately, our Demon Suppression Army's vice commanders all survived. Otherwise, such losses would take over 100 years to recover, let alone continue the campaign. Lu Yun turned around and saw Dugu Yuan, who was covered in blood. This heavenly-level demon extermination general still radiated a strong, murderous intent, which did not dissipate with the end of the war. His gaze gave a powerful visual impact. A common Rune Seed Realm cultivator would find it difficult to stand steadily under this murderous intent. Fortunately, Lu Yun's martial arts was no weaker than a regular Golden Core realm cultivator. Even compared to Dugu Yuan, a strong Golden Core realm cultivator, he was hardly inferior. General Dugu must have gained quite a bit this time. Lu Yun smiled faintly. Hearing his words, Dugu Yuan shook his head. After entering the Golden Core realm, every advancement takes decades, if not hundreds of years. So the true benefit this time lies in battling to death against peers of my level, which gives me some insights and increases my chances of advancing to the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. However, pausing slightly, his gaze on Lu Yun turned somewhat strange. Compared to my intangible gains, Lu Yun, your harvest is the greatest. He remembered that when he first saw Lu Yun, his cultivation was at the origin fluid realm, and his strength was equivalent to the peak of the golden body realm at best. Now, only a few months had passed, and Lu Yun had successively broken through to the golden body realm and the rune seed realm. His true strength was now comparable to the Golden Core realm. Even Yin Wujia, the renowned sect master of the Netherworld sect in the 100 Sects, an old-school Golden Core realm cultivator, had fallen in his hands. Thinking of Lu Yun's remarkable achievements, Dugu Yuan was filled with envy. Hearing this, Lu Yun nodded slightly. Indeed, his harvest this time was impressive. Beyond advancing his martial arts realm and strength, he had also cultivated his martial arts will and mastered 2 divine abilities. Most importantly, during this hunt, he had killed many rune seed realm cultivators, obtaining countless pills, spirit crystals, and spiritual objects from their Sumi rings. As the 2 of them were talking, a figure shot quickly through the void and landed in front of them. It was Ling Hu Dao, another heavenly-level demon extermination general from the Far Suppression Legion. Ling Hu Dao also emanated a thick, murderous intent, though not as thick as Dugu Yuan's. The sect protection array of the Red Moon Demon sect has been broken. We found 2 intact secret realms inside the Blood Slaughter and Devil Cloud domains, which will be beneficial for those in the Rune Seed realm and Golden Core realm. With that, Ling Hu Dao looked at Lu Yun and Dugu Yuan with a smile on his face. What do you guys think? Interested? Secret realms. Dugu Yuan's interest was piqued, and he immediately asked, "What's the cost?" Ling Hu Dao shook his head. Secret realms are rare cultivation spots. If we were to open them up to the demon suppression army, the demand would outstrip the supply. The realms could even be destroyed. However, the price for us is nothing much, just around 100,000 demon extermination points. 100,000 demon extermination points. That's acceptable. Dugu Yuan agreed with satisfaction. Having reached the initial limit of the Golden Core realm and experienced several months of life and death battles, he had accumulated a lot of insights and needed a place for seclusion to thoroughly comprehend them. Although 100,000 demon extermination points was a lot, it was within his acceptance range. Lu Yun was also eager to explore the secret realms. He smiled and said, "Count me in." "Ha ha, let's all go together then." The 3 of them shared a laugh, then turned into 3 streaks of light and disappeared into the void. Chapter 502, Chapter 502, Chapter 272, Blood Slaughter Secret Realm, Demonic Beast Essence Core. Chapter 502, Chapter 272, Blood Slaughter Secret Realm, Demonic Beast Essence Core, lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M. Red Moon Demon Sect. Lu Yun. Upon arrival of Ling Hu Dao and Dugu Yuan, the Demon Suppression Army had already been stationed here. When they saw Lu Yun and others arriving, a yellow-rank demon extermination general came forward and saluted with clasped hands. "Greetings to all the generals." No need for formalities. Ling Hu Dao spoke indifferently, then asked, "We came for the blood-slaughtering secret realm and the Devil Cloud domain. Are you willing to lead us there?" "It would be my honor." Therefore, Under the guidance of the Black-rank Demon Extermination General, the three came to the Merit Exchange Center to exchange their places to enter the secret realms. Among them, entry to the blood-slaughtering secret realm required 100,000 demon extermination points, while the Devil Cloud domain required 200,000 demon extermination points. Lu Yun spent 100,000 demon extermination points for a place in the blood-slaughtering secret realm. Outside the blood-slaughtering secret realm, there were many Earth-rank demon extermination generals, including Bai Changfeng and Zhang Wenyun, whom Lu Yun knew. Without exception, these people were at the peak of Rune Seed realm. All eyes looking at the blood-slaughtering secret realm were filled with anticipation. They were expecting that this blood-slaughtering secret realm would bring benefits to their breakthroughs in cultivation. The blood-slaughtering secret realm is one of the training sanctuaries for the Red Moon Demon Sect's powerful forces. It is generally rarely opened. A heavenly-level demon extermination general standing in front of the secret realm portal introduced it to Lu Yun and the others. Now that it has fallen into the hands of our demon suppression army, we naturally won't let it idle. Furthermore, considering the need for more top combat power in the upcoming battles, the army commanders have decided to give you some opportunities. As he finished, an ancient stone door behind him revealed shining blood-colored light, mysterious runes blooming, distorting the void, and a mysterious whirlpool portal appeared faintly. The blood-slaughtering secret realm portal is now open, and you only have 3 days. I hope you can make good use of this opportunity. The heavenly-level demon extermination general guarding the blood-slaughtering secret realm spoke seriously. Yes. All the Earth-rank demon extermination generals responded in unison, then unfolded their figures and stepped directly into the portal. Bright lights bloomed, and eventually more than 30 Earth-rank demon extermination generals disappeared into the whirlpool portal. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Yun was surrounded by flickering blood-red lights. The void twisted as if endless thunder echoed. When his vision became clear again, he had already appeared in a strange territory. The sky was gloomy, filled with black cracks like a spider web woven together in the void above. From beneath the ground, a stream of blood flowed, emitting incessant evil chi as if something dangerous and terrifying was hiding underground. This was a different world. Lu Yun could feel that the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here was incredibly thin, instead filled with a torrent of brutal and dark energy fluctuations. Is this really a cultivation secret realm? Lu Yun thought to himself. Dark energy and blood-red evil chi filled the surroundings, swallowing up all signs of life, making Lu Yun feel extremely uncomfortable. This dark energy was very concentrated, and it was unknown what had caused it. Roar. Just then, a sudden roar broke the silence. On the blood-red ground, a demonic creature about 10 meters tall, covered in blood-red scales and with hard-bone spines on its back appeared. Its scarlet eyes fixed on Lu Yun, it roared and charged towards him. This demonic creature's aura was extremely terrifying, with its body wrapped in dense dark energy. Its strength was comparable to the late stage of the Rune Seed realm. What's even more frightening was that, with its roars came from other demonic creatures in the vast land, one after another. One after another, these terrifying demonic creatures erupted with a violent aura akin to a storm, causing the entire land to tremble violently. Lu Yun looked at the pairs of scarlet eyes, like lanterns flickering with bloodthirsty, murderous intent. Is this the blood-slaughtering secret realm? In Lu Yun's eyes, an unstoppable fighting spirit surged. At this moment, he vaguely understood the purpose of the blood-slaughtering secret realm, so his fighting spirit soared, and his powerful body released a splendid golden light, like a big sun rising on the blood-red land, driving the demonic creatures to even greater frenzy. Intruder! Tyranny! Several terrifying demonic creatures roared at each other, uttering some disjointed words from their bloody jaws. Boom! With a sharp flash in his eyes, Lu Yun produced thunder under his feet, and in an instant he charged out like lightning. The first to bear the brunt was a demonic creature with a strength comparable to the late stage of the rune seed realm, which had its head blasted to smithereens by him, and it crashed to the ground. Kill! Ice-cold, murderous intent filled Lu Yun's eyes, his blood boiling, and he unleashed an incredibly powerful destructive force, charging towards the many demonic creatures. Boom, boom, boom. With his formidable fleshly body, each of Lu Yun's punches killed numerous demonic creatures. The surrounding demonic creatures were, at their strongest, equivalent to the peak of the rune seed realm, and were no match for Lu Yun. Crack! Lu Yun's fist was extremely fierce and domineering, instantly colliding with a peak rune seed realm demonic creature. A crisp sound rang out, and the thick arm of the peak rune seed realm demonic creature was smashed to pieces, turning into countless black blood droplets and emitting a pungent smell. With cold eyes, Lu Yun rushed up, and in the horrified gaze of the demonic creature, his fist pierced through its chest, its heart pulverized by his extremely powerful punch. The sky-brilliant sword in Lu Yun's hand radiated blazing sword light as it was unsheathed, instantly slashing through the air and beheading a gigantic demonic creature. Chapter 503, Chapter 503, Chapter 272, Blood Slaughter Secret Realm, Demonic Beast Essence Core, _2, Chapter 503, Chapter 272, Blood Slaughter Secret Realm, Demonic Beast Essence Core, _2 lease reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M behind Lu Yun, a headless monster with a size of several dozen feet fell to the ground, its vitality completely extinguished. Human, so strong, clumsy words came out of the mouths of several other monstrous creatures with immense chi. They were shocked at Lu Yun's strength, but they didn't feel fear because of it. Or it could be said that there was no such word as fear in their dictionary, only madness and brutality. One sword terminates the world. With a loud roar from Lu Yun, the sky-brilliant sword in his hand hummed and vibrated, dazzling and breathtaking. In an instant, he slashed out an unparalleled radiance, carrying the power to destroy heaven and earth, instantly killing another huge monster. One sword terminates the void. Another sword split the sky, tearing through space, and another even more powerful monster was pierced through the eyebrows. One invincible strike. The radiance of the sword was brilliant, and its power was immense. It transformed into thousands of sword chi, piercing through the eyebrows of various demonic creatures, severing their heads, stirring up their hearts, and some were even cut in half, falling under the endless sword chi. Soon, this area turned even more desolate and bloody, resembling the land of Azura. The corpses of demonic creatures were everywhere, and the dark energy and blood-red evil chi continuously spread. What is that? Lu Yun had wiped out all the demonic creatures in this area and was just about to leave when his eyes suddenly flashed with brilliance. He saw that not far away, within the body of one of the monsters he killed, there was a crystal stone shining with a blood-red light, looking extremely evil. Was it a monster core? From this core, Lu Yun felt an extremely pure dark energy. In the heart of this dark energy was a rich spiritual power. If I can purify this dark energy, the extremely pure spiritual power within would be a great tonic. At this thought, Lu Yun was instantly tempted. However, there was some difficulty in purifying this dark energy. Let's try the white lotus flame. Pure white flames rose from the palm of Lu Yun's hand, and then began to envelop the blood-red core of the monster. This dark energy was indeed troublesome, even more so than evil chi, and proved stubbornly resistant even under the purification of the white lotus flame. It took more than 10 breaths to finally dispel the layer of dark energy surrounding the core. In the end, all that was left of the core was an incredibly pure spiritual power. After refining it, Lu Yun felt an increase in his spiritual power, and even his martial arts will experience a slight improvement. It seems that the most valuable thing in the blood slaughter secret realm are these cores in the brains of demonic creatures. After refining them, they can help improve the spiritual power of the rune seed realm and condense the martial arts will. So thought Lu Yun. He quickly searched for other monster cores in this area, and to his surprise, not every monster had one. Out of dozens of monsters, Lu Yun only obtained 2 cores. At the same time, he found that only the monsters at the peak of the rune seed realm had cores, and it was random. Why do only the monsters at the peak of the rune seed realm have cores? Lu Yun thought secretly. At the same time, he quickly left the place, as the previous large-scale battle had attracted many monsters rapidly rushing towards him. He could handle dozens of monsters at once with some effort. However, if there were too many, he would face a risk to his life, as the weakest of these monsters were roughly equivalent to the late stage of the rune seed realm. Later on, Lu Yun specifically targeted monsters at the peak of the rune seed realm. Gradually, he found that the probability of these monsters being able to produce cores was only about 1 in 10. I need to make good use of these 3 days. Lu Yun's eyes flashed with brilliance, his figure quickly moving through the blood slaughter's secret realm. After 4 hours, Lu Yun had killed 8 monsters and acquired another core. After purifying the dark energy on its surface and refining the spirit core, Lu Yun felt a significant increase in his spiritual power, and his martial arts will followed suit, becoming stronger as well. The pity was that there was no quantitative standard for measuring martial arts will. By the end of the day, Lu Yun had refined 10 cores, and he felt something unusual happening in his sea of consciousness. It was a golden yellow light cluster, shaped like a bamboo shoot, with only one section. After refining the 10th spirit core, the second section grew a little, almost about 1/10 of the first section. Martial arts will. Instantly, Lu Yun realized that this bamboo shoot-shaped golden yellow light cluster was his martial arts will. If I'm not mistaken, my martial arts will is at the first rank and 1/10. A golden core realm martial artist wants to achieve a celestial human, not only needs to create cave heavens within their body, but also transform their martial arts will into martial arts primordial spirit. Refining these spirit cores will help me quickly improve my martial arts will. I must seize this opportunity. With that in mind, Lu Yun moved swiftly. Whoosh! Lu Yun's speed was extremely fast, and he vanished in the blink of an eye from the plain where the fierce battle had taken place before. However, at the end of the plain, the sight he saw surprised him greatly. That is, Lu Yun's eyes became solemn. In front of him seemed to be a vast black ocean, with rich dark energy and bloody killing intent constantly spreading out. Vaguely, he could see that on the black ocean there were many terrifying figures flying in the air. Above the void, intertwined cracks emitted dark and ominous light, making it look quite eerie. This sight couldn't help but make one doubt that this was not a secret realm, but a broken world with some unknown terrifying existence gradually beginning to awaken. Roar! Roar! One after another, angry roars rang out, like hellish demons shaking the surrounding emptiness. The entire sky and earth trembled violently. Lu Yun could clearly see that on the black ocean, some of the monsters' figures were nearly 100 feet tall, with an even more terrifying aura than an average golden core realm. They seemed to have found something, suddenly opening their crimson eyes, staring at the other side of the ocean. Are they targeting me? Or are they targeting the Earth-rank demon extermination general who entered the blood slaughter realm? At this moment, several monsters with strength reaching the peak of the Rune Seed realm have crossed the sea and started to attack Lu Yun. Lu Yun could clearly see that these few monsters' eyes were extremely red, filled with violent killing intent, and even their aura was more potent. Kill. Lu Yun immediately made a decision. The Sky Brilliance sword radiated with intense sword radiance, slashing across the air, and amazingly only severed a monster's arm. This showed that not only were these few monsters more powerful, but even their bodies were horribly strong. Splash! After flickering and hacking a dozen or so swords, 5 giant monsters finally fell. The sword chi cut through, severing each of their brains. These 5 monsters contributed 2 spirit cores to Lu Yun. Previously, he had to slay an average of 10 peak Rune Seed realm monsters to obtain a single spirit core. As for the late-stage Rune Seed realm monster, no matter how many he killed, there was no gain. Now, after killing merely 5 monsters, he obtained 2 spirit cores. The rate was simply terrifying. However, Lu Yun showed no joy, but his expression grew even more solemn. What lies at the end of this sea? And why do the monsters that come from it not only have stronger abilities, but also have a higher probability of producing spirit cores? Or is there a secret hidden here? Lu Yun shook his head slightly. Even if there was a secret, it had nothing to do with him. His main task now was to hunt more monsters and obtain more spirit cores in the time ahead. After fighting for 4 more hours, more and more monsters crossed the sea, and their strength grew stronger and stronger. Even the 3 monsters with their bodies reaching 100 feet and an aura comparable to a golden core realm expert were nearing. As constant, intense battles continued, and the strength of monsters grew, Lu Yun eventually chose to temporarily avoid the edge and leave this area. Chapter 504, Chapter 504, Chapter 273, Second Rank Martial Arts will the wonderful use of the 7-colored stone. Chapter 504, Chapter 273, Second Rank Martial Arts will the wonderful use of the 7-colored stone. Lease reading Omicronen Novelcool. Omicronem 2 days later. The martial arts will in the sea of consciousness had grown to 80% of the 1st rank. During this time, Lu Yun killed more than 100 peak Rune Seed realm monsters, obtaining several dozen spirit cores. It seems I should go to that black ocean to hunt for more monsters. Lu Yun muttered to himself. Boom! The ground beneath his feet suddenly shattered, revealing numerous buried skeletons. This land was made up of countless corpses piled up together. I can't worry about that now. I need to get as many spirit cores as possible and raise my martial arts will to the 2nd rank. Lu Yun's eyes revealed a boundless fighting intent, and his body erupted with a glaring lightning. Without any attempt to conceal his aura, he unsheathed the Sky Brilliance sword and charged towards the black ocean to kill. Rumble! In the dark energy roiling like a tide, a wild surge of black chi stirred, stimulating the human mind. If not for martial artists who had gathered martial arts will, it would be extremely difficult for them to maintain a calm mentality in such an environment. Black waves slapped against the shore, and mysterious beings with frightening auras emerged from the black energy ocean one after another. Lu Yun's vigorous vitality and soaring blood essence acted like a lighthouse on the sea, causing the monsters to completely boil and roar. Countless monsters gathered from all directions. At least 100 of these monsters existed, and more were continuously crossing the sea. The violent, dark energy emanating from their bodies contained destructive power, seemingly capable of annihilating everything. Lu Yun's eyes were also filled with blood-red, murderous intent, and his boundless fighting spirit and surging blood essence sent the weaker monsters wailing in fear. Clank! With the Sky Brilliance sword unsheathed, the sword light shone brilliantly, the sword chi raged, and Lu Yun charged into the many monsters. Boom! Lu Yun unleashed a punch, and the heavenly lion roared, suppressing everything. In an instant, 7 or 8 monsters were blasted apart. Zhang. The sky brilliance sword flew back and forth, humming and trembling, as if swallowing countless monsters' blood. It seemed to awaken its spirituality, making the sword burst into even more dazzling light. Unrestrained sword chi enveloped the area like a reversed heavenly river, sweeping everything in all directions. The weaker monsters were struck by the sword, their bodies torn apart, with limbs and heads scattered everywhere. Some didn't even have time to scream before being cut down. However, several monsters had huge bodies and were extremely powerful. The sword chi that tore through the sky left only shallow scratches on their skin. Roar! Seizing this opportunity, hundreds of fearless monsters rushed across the sea toward Lu Yun. Boom! The netherworld gate appeared, then quickly enlarged, and a powerful suppressing force emanated. Countless monsters trembled in its presence. Chi. The sword light flew across the battlefield, and in an instant more than a dozen monsters were killed. Several of them were at the peak of the rune seed realm. Lu Yun's body was covered in pure, white flames, the 100-year flame blazing as if it were the kryptonite to the monstrous, dark energy. The spirit cores were engulfed by the white lotus flame, refining the dark energy on the outside, leaving only the purest spiritual power. While slaying monsters, Lu Yun refined these monster cores purified by the white lotus flame. Within the sea of consciousness, the spiritual power grew more and more substantial, like a golden light cluster slowly increasing in size. At the same time, as Lu Yun killed these monsters, he also refined a large number of spirit crystals to replenish the continuously consumed Yuan Hai in his body. Only by refining spirit crystals could one maintain the peak state in this spirit-extinguishing land. After all, continuing to fight took a terrifying toll on him. Boom! Surrounding Lu Yun, powerful monsters continuously emerged from the black energy ocean, only to be repeatedly killed by him. Black blood splattered through the air, eventually falling into the endless seas below. Lu Yun didn't know how many monsters he had killed or how many spirit crystals he had refined. He only knew that he continuously refined spirit cores, and his martial arts will in the sea of consciousness was constantly growing stronger, breaking through the second rank. As the third day approached, his martial arts will had grown a third section, reaching 30% of the second rank. At that moment, the 3 monster beings over 100 feet tall, and with terrifying auras, finally arrived. Ha ha ha, he is mine! A palm-sized mountain roared towards Lu Yun. So powerful! This monster is not inferior to an early-stage Golden Core realm martial artist. Feeling the howling strong wind and the terrifying energy filled with violence and destruction, Lu Yun's face turned solemn. Facing 3 powerful monsters at once, he didn't have the slightest confidence. Moreover, countless other monsters surrounded him. But soon, Lu Yun's eyes became firm once again. If I leave now, I won't be satisfied with just the 3-day limit. I'll give it my all. Just as Lu Yun made up his mind and prepared for a desperate fight, something unexpected happened. He is mine. Don't anyone try to snatch him. Another equally huge monster slammed its fist into one of its own kind, and then opened its bloody maw, lunging toward Lu Yun. He is mine. Don't anyone dare to snatch him. Another monster joined the fray, fighting the other 2 monsters. They had enormous bodies and tremendous power. As they fought, the black ocean's waves rose tens of feet high. At the same time, even the interwoven cracks in the sky began to distort, growing larger and larger. Chapter 5:05. Chapter 5:05. Chapter 273. Second rank martial arts will the wonderful use of the 7-colored stone _2. Chapter 5:05. Chapter 273. Second rank martial arts will The wonderful use of the 7-colored stone _2 lease reading Omicron novel cool. Omicron under these circumstances, Lu Yun naturally remained calm and composed. As long as these 3 demons fought each other to the death, he would eventually emerge as the final beneficiary. However, Lu Yun might have overestimated the situation. The battle between the 3 demons quickly came to an end, with a demon possessing golden tentacles proving superior and showcasing unparalleled strength, thus suppressing the other 2 demons. Delicious, you are Badalu's delicacy. The demon who identified itself as Badalu looked at Lu Yun with burning greed in its eyes. Its enormous mouth even secreted some indescribable fluid. Immediately after, it extended its right arm, and a thick, dark energy condensed into an enormous black star. As the star circled around, the other 2 demons couldn't help frowning. Badalu had not used this technique during their previous battle. As for the other demons, they had already scattered and fled during the previous intense battle. Even though Lu Yun's vital energy and blood seemed to have a great attraction for them, the fear hidden in their souls and bloodlines made them tremendously wary of these 3 demons. Badalu, with his massive body, stepped onto a sea of dark energy, and the enormous black star in front of him seemed to be ready to descend at any moment. Delicious! His scarlet eyes set on Lu Yun. He greedily said, "I will absorb your blood, refine your bloodline, and then thoroughly transform myself into you to leave this world." Leave this world? Lu Yun looked puzzled. It felt as if there was a secret hidden in the other's words. However, this demon showed no intention of explaining to Lu Yun. With a slight movement of its right arm, the enormous black star fell. With the descent of the black star, the cracks in the void became even more horrific, and the sea of dark energy beneath his feet surged more violently. Underneath the black star, Lu Yun felt enormous pressure, and despite his abnormal physique, he still felt the gravity comparable to a mountain. Such a terrifying power. In astonishment, Lu Yun activated his Netherworld Gate to resist the attack. Ever since obtaining the Netherworld Gate, Lu Yun had been nurturing it with his aura origin, spiritual power, and laws. Now, as he activated it, it quickly enlarged to 100 feet, blocking the black star dominantly. This black star conjured by Batu, Lu could easily crush a regular golden core realm. Even when blocked, the powerful momentum it carried still made the Netherworld Gate tremble violently. Meanwhile, as Lu Yun and Badalu engaged in fierce battle, other Earth-rank demon extermination generals who had entered the blood slaughter forbidden area felt that disturbance and looked in their direction. That direction. It seems to be the Dead Demon Lake. Bai Chongfeng's robe fluttered in the wind, surrounded by golden light, and he looked into the blood-red void, murmuring softly to himself. Before entering the blood slaughter forbidden area, he already knew about the demons and that there were Golden Core Realm demons. Therefore, he had stayed away from the Dead Demon Lake to avoid disturbing the powerful entities there. The Dead Demon Lake is the forbidden area of the blood slaughter forbidden area. I wonder who was unlucky enough to stumble in there. Shaking his head slightly, Bai Chongfeng began to look for his next target. He was already on the verge of advancing to the Golden Core Realm, but his progress was stalled because his spiritual power was insufficient, which prevented him from condensing his martial arts will. Only by condensing martial arts will could he transform his rune seed into a golden core. The spirit core in the brains of the demons in the blood slaughter forbidden area possessed abundant and pure spiritual power, which was crucial to whether he could enhance his spiritual power, condense his martial arts will, and create a golden core. The only drawback was that it was not easy to obtain these spirit cores. After nearly 3 days in the blood slaughter forbidden area, he had only acquired 3 spirit cores. Moreover, each one demanded a heavy price. An hour later, A silent, serene slash of saber light emerged. Boom, boom, boom. The space shattered inch by inch, like countless firecrackers exploding. Within an instant, the void surrounding Batu completely collapsed, and the thick, dark energy around his body was cut through by the saber light. The white saber light flashed and vanished, and the invincible strike arrived abruptly. Uffed! Batalu's face changed drastically as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The black blood containing a powerful aura floated in the void before quickly disappearing. How can this be? How did the heaven and earth draw saber slash become so powerful all of a sudden? Lu Yun's pupils contracted abruptly. His gaze fell on the long saber in his hand. This saber was a superior profound artifact, one of the spoils he had seized from the formidable figures of the Red Moon Demon sect. In terms of quality, this white saber even fell short of the Azure Cloud Dragon Scale saber he had previously destroyed. However, on the blade of this pure white saber, there were 7 colored rainbows that seemed to envelop the blade with energy. 7 color. This is the 7-color stone. Lu Yun suddenly remembered the 7-color stone he had found deep within a city in the profound darkness domain. When did the 7-color stone end up with this profound saber? Before Lu Yun had time to think, Batalu had already launched another attack. Batalu, heavily wounded by Lu Yun's previous strike, was filled with immense fury, a startling dark energy concentrated in his sizable palms. Buzz, buzz. Batalu's massive body lurched forward, his speed reaching the peak in an instant, breaking through all space, amassing a terrifying force as he charged towards Lu Yun. At such an extreme speed, the shattered space around him collapsed even fiercer, vibrating and contracting incessantly. Delicious treat, punishable by death. Batalu growled, and 2 tiny black holes separated from the centers of his palms. At the same time, Lu Yun unleashed his second swing, the divine ability of the demon, slaying God-killing saber, under the boost of the 7-color stone. Even with Lu Yun's full force, his profound saber showed no signs of abnormality. The entire space seemed to be cut by the sword light. Its powerful might was beyond comprehension. The swing of the demon, slaying God-killing saber, passed through the many black holes and pierced Batalu's formidable body. The power seems to have become stronger. Lu Yun pondered internally before slashing once more. Splatter! With this strike, Batalu's left arm was severed. Boom, boom, splatter. Another swing. His thick, pillar-like right leg was severed cleanly. It seems like it's not the power of the divine ability that has increased, but this profound saber in my hand has become stronger. After 3 successive slashes, yielding good results, Lu Yun finally identified the difference. If he did not comprehend more principles, the divine ability power would not significantly increase. The only explanation was that the 7-color stone had elevated the grade of the profound saber. Now understanding this, Lu Yun couldn't help but smile. Batalu, we can help. How about it? Seeing Batalu steadily losing ground, the 2 monster beasts nearby, both eyeing the situation tensely, made a proposal. No, delicious treat is mine. None of you are allowed to snatch it, or else become my enemy. Batalu's indifferent voice floated in a straight line through the void. Last swing. Lu Yun's gaze was icy cold. He could already feel the power of rejection from the surrounding space. Divine ability, demon-slaying, God-killing saber, under the effects of the 7-color stone. The level of the profound saber was upgraded to the level of a treasure, also possessing an annihilating characteristic. Boom, boom. A swing was launched, the sword radiance soaring toward the sky like a long rainbow piercing the sun, directly slashing at Batalu's colossal body. No, I am invincible. Batalu's eyes widened, his massive body trembling. The intense dark energy burned, its power endless and inexhaustible. He attempted to block this swing, with his newly regathered hands, frantically manipulating his energy. Splatter! The pure white sword light, carrying the power to stir space and annihilate everything, pierced through Bacillus' palms and cleaved straight down. Crack, crack! His colossal body seemed to have a streak of pure white light entering, causing cracks to appear on its surface. At this point, the rejection forces from all over became stronger, practically forcing Lu Yun out of this space. However, relying on his formidable will, Lu Yun successfully landed this final blow. Moreover, in the final instance, he reached out and extracted the large spirit core. Boom, boom. The surroundings flickered with a bloody glow. The void distorted. As the view became clear again, he had already been cast out from the bloody vortex portal. Chapter 506, Chapter 506, Chapter 274, Undercurrent Surges, Indestructible Golden Bones. Chapter 506, Chapter 274, Undercurrent Surges, Indestructible Golden Bones. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron and Red Moon Demon Sect. Goddess Peak Lu Yun calmly raised his right hand, revealing a gigantic spirit core in his palm. On the outside of the spirit core, an incredibly dense dark energy emanated, causing the surrounding space to distort slightly. This spirit core was taken from the brain of the demon that Lu Yun had killed last in the blood slaughter secret realm. This dark energy was extremely powerful, and the violent aura it emitted made people feel uncontrollably agitated. Lu Yun carefully studied the spirit core as the white lotus flame enveloped it. I hope the spiritual power within this spirit core can greatly boost my martial arts will. It took almost an hour for the white lotus flame to refine the dark energy on the surface of the spirit core, leaving behind an extremely pure essence of spiritual power. As expected of a demon with strength comparable to the Golden Core realm, it has increased my martial arts will by 50% in one go. After refining the spiritual power within the spirit core, Lu Yun's spiritual power surged, and his martial arts will also increase to second rank 80%. The surge in martial arts will allow him to further enhance his control over rune seeds and loss. If he were to fight Mo Wuzong, the heavenly pride of the Red Moon Demon Sect, again, he would have confidence in suppressing him. However, after the defeat of the Red Moon Demon Sect, their elders and most core disciples had either escaped or died. It was unknown whether Mo Wuzong was still alive. Shaking his head, Lu Yun calmed himself and reached out. A dull, 7-colored stone appeared in his palm. When I first got this 7-color stone, I found it incredibly extraordinary. Not only did it possess terrifying power, but its material was also incomparably hard. It was sharper and more solid than mysterious instruments. Now it can actually attach itself to a mysterious saber and forcibly raise its rank by 1, also carrying destructive power. Lu Yun examined the stone and then infused his spiritual power into it. The 7-color stone began to slowly change its shape and form as Lu Yun's thoughts controlled it. It seemed Lu Yun thought of something, and then took out the Sky Brilliance sword. Next, something astonishing happened. The 7-color stone transformed into a 7-colored rainbow and attached itself to the Sky Brilliance sword. The dazzling light emitted a mysterious atmosphere. Lu Yun felt that the Sky Brilliance sword in his hand seemed to have undergone a certain change. Incredible, it's simply amazing. The 7-color stone can not only increase the rank of a blade, but even the treasure artifact level Sky Brilliance sword can also be upgraded. Lu Yun secretly marveled as he looked at the 7-color stone in his hand, his eyes filled with a strange brilliance. The Sky Brilliance sword was different from the previous mysterious saber. It was a true treasure artifact, and even the best of the lower-grade treasures could be upgraded to the mid-level rank. It meant that treasures ranked mid-level and above might also be upgraded by 1 rank. Thinking of this, Lu Yun took out the Netherworld Gate and similarly controlled the seven-color stone with his thoughts, attaching it to the Netherworld Gate. Sure enough, the power of the originally mid-grade treasure, Netherworld Gate, rose once again. Not only could the seven-color stone be used as a weapon itself, but it could also attach itself to various mysterious instruments and treasures, fuse with them, and enhance their rank and power. Such effects were simply unbelievable, at least so far. Lu Yun had never heard of such a treasure. With this seven-color stone, it means that in the future, I can upgrade any treasure by 1 rank. Lu Yun waved his hand, put away the Netherworld Gate and Sky Brilliance sword, and the seven-color stone gradually shrank, turning into a seven-colored light attached to his battle armor. Immediately, the originally lower-grade treasure battle armor had its rank raised by 1 level. Lu Yun squinted his eyes, reined in his excitement, and thought to himself, this extraordinary seven-color stone must not be known to others. 3 days later. Name: Lu Yun. Power: Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Techniques, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Rune Seed Chapter, Great Accomplishment 1%, Wind Thunder Manual 3rd Layer, Instant Horizon 100%, Fifth Scripture 2nd Layer, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture 1st Layer, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art 3rd Layer, One Invincible Strike 100%, Demon Slaying God Killing Saber Divine Ability 1st Layer, Heaven and Earth Draw Saber Slash Divine Ability 1st Layer, Innate Talent, Level 10 Mortal Level Limit, Martial Arts, Late Stage Rune Seed Realm, Energy Value 395 million, automatically increased by 100 every day. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 8th Stage 41%, Thunder Conception, 8th Stage 1%, Spatial Conception, 8th Stage 1%. Skills, Alchemy Technique, 7th Rank 1%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 7th Rank 53%. Luck Value, 167. After refining all the pills in his body, the energy value on the panel sword passed the 10 million mark, however, as his cultivation improved to the late-stage Rune Seed Realm and the Thunder Conception and Spatial Conception advanced to the 8th stage, his energy value decreased sharply once again. The improvement of my conception led to the breakthrough of my martial arts will to the 3rd stage level, which is an unexpected harvest. Lu Yun's gaze fell on the heaven, an Earth Draw Saber / Divine Ability. He immediately consumed 1 million energy points, causing the heavens and earth to change colors. The Heaven and Earth Draw Saber / was upgraded to the Divine Ability 2nd level. Feeling the earth-shattering saber intent lingering in his sea of consciousness, Lu Yun felt invigorated. At the 2nd level, the Heaven and Earth Draw Saber / was much more magnificent and powerful than at the 1st level. Now, the Heaven and Earth Draw Saber / was not inferior to the Demon Slaying God-Killing Saber. Of course, the Demon Slaying God-Killing Saber was still only at the Divine Ability 1st Layer. The saber intent circulated inside his sea of consciousness only for a moment before it was absorbed and merged by the blood-red lotus seat within it. Chapter 507, Chapter 507, Chapter 274, Undercurrent Surges, Chapter 507, Chapter 274, Undercurrent Surges, Lease Reading Omicron N, Novel Cool, Omicron M Indestructible Golden Bones, _2 above it, 8 blood-red petals swayed gracefully, and the 9th petal would soon sprout. Following that, Lu Yun turned his gaze to the Demon Slaying God-Killing Saber. Upgrade. In an instant, 2 million energy points were consumed, and the Demon Slaying God-Killing Saber was also upgraded to the 2nd level of Divine Ability. At the same time, an even more powerful saber intent was born in the sea of consciousness, roaring like a mad dragon. On the blood-red lotus seat, petals swayed wildly, greedily absorbing the incomparably strong saber, intent like a thirsty being. After the upheaval in the sea of consciousness subsided completely, the slaughter conception on the panel rose to the 8th stage at 88%. With the improvement of the slaughter conception, even the martial arts will made another breakthrough, rising to 3rd rank at 10%. Now, it's time to cultivate that great sun undying golden body, Lu Yun murmured. He had obtained the great sun undying golden body when he was still in the origin fluid realm, but because of his realm, he had never practiced it. At present, his cultivation had reached the late stage of the rune seed realm. Even without external resources, he could practice it. With a thought, a strange stream of information immediately began to reassemble in Lu Yun's mind. Great sun undying golden body. Surprise flashed in Lu Yun's eyes as he suddenly realized that the great sun undying golden body was not included in the panel, which was quite strange. However, compared to that, what he was more curious about was what kind of change practicing this cultivation technique could bring to him. The first step to cultivate the great sun undying golden body was to refine the 206 bones in the body into imperishable golden bones, and then transform into the great sun undying golden body. This golden body was extremely terrifying, allowing Lu Yun's physical body to become indestructible, almost standing in an unbeatable position. As long as the golden body was initially transformed, even if both arms were severed, they could be regenerated. Once this was practiced to an extremely high level, even if only a drop of blood was left, it could regenerate. However, that level belonged to the realm of legends, and few people could reach it. All the bones in Lu Yun's body now showed a golden glow, but they were still far from the real imperishable golden bones. Refining the imperishable golden bones requires a high level of spiritual energy. I need to find a place with an abundant spiritual energy. Actually, the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi in Goddess Peak was very rich, but it didn't meet Lu Yun's requirement. Then, he left Goddess Peak and went to the Merit Exchange Center. He spent 300,000 demon extermination points and exchanged 3 million spirit crystals. Together with his previous gains, he had nearly 4 million spirit crystals in his hand. To refine all 206 bones in his body into imperishable golden bones, these spirit crystals alone were not enough. Thus, he spent another 300,000 demon extermination points and exchanged an entry quota for the Devil Cloud domains. The Devil Cloud domains contained a dense heavenly and earthly spiritual chi, making it an excellent place for enlightenment. Upon entering the Devil Cloud domains, Lu Yun felt that the environment here was completely opposite to that of the Blood Slaughter domains. The Blood Slaughter domains were a spirit-extinguishing land with no trace of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi, full of a vast amount of broken and evil chi, and an unsettling atmosphere of dark energy filled the world. In contrast, the Devil Cloud domains had a spiritual chi so dense it was almost liquid, and it was filled with a mysterious aura, which greatly facilitated martial artists entering into the realm of enlightenment. From afar, Lu Yun could sense several powerful auras in the Devil Cloud domains. These people were the other heavenly level demon extermination generals. Unlike the Blood Slaughter domains, which were only open once and could only be stayed in for up to 3 days, the Devil Cloud domains could be entered multiple times. However, it required 10,000 demon extermination points for each day spent inside. 300,000 demon extermination points were enough for Lu Yun to stay for a month. After finding a remote place with dense spiritual chi, Lu Yun concentrated on refining the imperishable golden bones and practicing the great sun undying golden body. At the same time he entered seclusion, the entire Scarlet Moon demon domain became restless. Even the nearby sea area became restless, and undercurrents began to surge. For example, the supreme elder of the Green Cloud sect, Yun Xian Venerable, led his top 10 personal disciples in visiting Heavenly Mystery Sword sect. Meanwhile, the Nine Nether Demon sect continuously gathered the remnant forces of the Red Moon Demon sect and maintained contact with Hundred sect, attempting to unite with more sects to fight against the Demon Suppression Army. Among them, the most heart-stirring news came from Heavenly's secret pavilion. The pavilion master, Sky One Venerable, had calculated a prophecy as if he had seen a glimpse of the future. The rise of the demonic path. The 100 sects return to nothing, the imperial path flourishes, and the human race prospers. As soon as this prophecy came out, the entire nearby sea area trembled slightly. Does this mean that the demonic path is going to rise completely? Many people speculated that the Red Moon Demon sect and the Nine Nether Demon sect were both powerful forces in the demonic path. However, the Red Moon Demon sect had just been annihilated by the Morijin Demon Suppression Army, and apart from a few strong members of the sect who managed to escape, the sect and the vast Scarlet Moon Demon domain had fallen into the hands of the Demon Suppression Army and would soon become part of the Morijin territory. It won't be long before the Nine Nether Demon sect, unable to hold out for long, will also be wiped out once the Morijin Demon Suppression Army has recuperated. In such a situation, how could the demonic path rise? Some people believed that the next target of the Demon Suppression Army would not be the Nine Nether Demon sect, but the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect or other sects instead. The Nine Nether Demon sect would take the opportunity to expand its power, ultimately forming a huge force, dividing the entire nearby sea area with the Demon Suppression Army, and establishing a new alliance against each other. After all, only in this way can the prophecy of Sky One Venerable from Heavenly's secret pavilion be fulfilled. However, some people believed that there was a problem with Sky One Venerable's prophecy, not to mention whether the Demon Suppression Army would disregard the Nine Nether Demon sect and directly attack the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect and other sections. Even if that were the case, the Demon Suppression Army, with their current strength, would not be able to defeat the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect, because both the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect and the Green Cloud sect had at least 3 venerables sitting in town. Unlike the Red Moon Demon sect and other demonic forces, the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect, the Green Cloud sect, and other sects had a very close alliance. Once the Demon Suppression Army attacked, at least half of the sects would form a new alliance to fight against the Demon Suppression Army together. In such a situation, unless Morijin used an even stronger force, success would be extremely difficult. At the same time as turmoil erupted in the nearby sea area, dark currents surged within the Scarlet Moon Demon domain. At present, in a mountain range in the southeast of the Scarlet Moon Demon domain, a young man in a dark gold robe sat in meditation. This person was Emo Wuzong. As Emo Wuzong was surrounded by the intertwining laws and enveloped in golden light, his aura had become much stronger than before, reaching the mid-stage of the Golden Core realm. It should be noted that even Gai Juyo, the former sect leader of the Red Moon Demon sect, hadn't reached this realm at his age. With such terrifying aptitude and cultivation speed, Emo Wuzong would definitely achieve the celestial human rank if there were no accidents. However, now he had become a homeless dog, and all his resources had been used up. An intense anger and hatred filled his dark eyes. Demon Suppression Army, Morijin, you stand in my way, and I swear to take my revenge. Emo Wuzong clenched his fists tightly, releasing a powerful wave of energy that destroyed all the towering trees within a few miles in an instant, reducing them to dust. Time slowly passed. In the Devil Cloud domains, Lu Yun remained in seclusion. Following the method of the Great Sun Undying Golden Body, it took him 3 full days to refine his first bone into an imperishable golden bone using spiritual energy. The moment the first imperishable golden bone appeared, Lu Yun felt that there seemed to be profound patterns imprinted on the surface of the golden bone. Moreover, as soon as the first imperishable golden bone emerged, Lu Yun felt his physical body becoming stronger, his vital energy more powerful, and a single punch would possess immense might. Not bad. Just one imperishable golden bone has such an effect. What if I have several others, or even all the 206 bones in my body become imperishable golden bones? How powerful would that be? Lu Yun became more and more excited about the great sun undying golden body. However, thinking that it took a full 3 days just to refine the first bone, Lu Yun's excitement quickly diminished. At this rate, it would take at least 2 years of nonstop refining to complete the transformation of all 206 bones in his body into undying golden bones. It seems that the concentration of spiritual energy still needs to be increased. With this thought, Lu Yun moved his intention, and countless spirit crystals appeared before him. Chapter 508, Chapter 508, Chapter 275, Leaving the Pass, Meeting the Fei Ling Martial Academy members again. Chapter 508, Chapter 275, Leaving the Pass, Meeting the Fei Ling Martial Academy members again. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron, just as Lu Yun was in seclusion, news came from the imperial court that a super-powerful monster had appeared deep in the endless great wilderness, causing heavy losses to the monster extermination army. In the end, 2 celestial human-level powerhouses from the monster extermination army joined forces to finally suppress the giant monster. However, more and more powerful monsters appeared later, making it impossible for the monster extermination army to continue its expansion. Compared with exterminating the 100 sects, the main task of the imperial court is to advance into the endless great wilderness and expand Meridian's territory. So, the higher-ups of the imperial court decided that the demon suppression army of Meridian would abandon further conquests and instead completely eradicate all remaining sect forces in the occupied Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, White Lotus Domain, and Profound Darkness Domain, and then establish provinces. Lu Yun, of course, was unaware of this and continued to be immersed in his cultivation. A month later, within the Devil Cloud domains, a powerful aura permeated the air, accompanied by the rise of a golden glow. On a spiritual peak with rich spiritual energy, a figure like an immortal enshrouded in divine light sat cross-legged. The heavenly level demon extermination generals, who were also cultivating within the Devil Cloud domains, found the violent flow of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi to be quite incredible. Over the past month, the peerless figure sitting on the distant mountain peak for cultivation had seemed to take up almost all of the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi in the area for tens of thousands of miles. The entire Devil Cloud domains were no more than 100,000 miles in diameter. Lu Yun alone occupied 1/10 of it. One could only describe this as extremely terrifying and shocking. Those who were also cultivating in the secret domain, Ling Hudao and Dugu Yuan, were both surprised and delighted. Lu Yun, this guy, always stands out wherever he goes. While Lu Yun was a very low-key person and tended to be low-key in everything he did, every matter he handled was always stunning, stirring, and widely influential. Right now, it was unusual for a Rune Seed Realm cultivation base like Lu Yun to emerge in the Devil Cloud domains, which were mostly filled with Golden Core Realm cultivators. For nearly a month now, various anomalies had frequently occurred. The eye-catching golden light constantly enveloped the domains, and the roars of the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi's tides never ceased, affecting other practitioners in the Devil Cloud domains. Soon, after a brilliant burst of golden light and the surge of a powerful spiritual aura, Lu Yun finally came out from the spiritual peak. His white clothes were like snow, his temperament transcendent, and his facial features were handsomely outstanding. Even many demon extermination generals secretly envied him. Moreover, unlike before, Lu Yun's temperament seemed to have undergone some refinement. In the past, Lu Yun had an otherworldly temperament but gave off a delicate impression. However, now it conveyed a sense of steadiness and concentration. A keen-eyed person would notice that Lu Yun had taken on a hint of indestructible and mysterious significance. How come I feel like I'm the one in the rune seed realm and Lu Yun is in the golden core realm? Dugu Yuan muttered. He didn't know that this was because Lu Yun had practiced the Great Sun Undying Golden Body technique. Looking at Lu Yun in this peculiar state, Nangong Rue was the only one among the many heavenly-level demon extermination generals whose eyes sparkled. Did Lu Yun really comprehend a saint body technique from the divine martial enlightenment pillars? As one of the Martial Academy's saint children, he naturally knew that the first-generation primordial emperor had left 365 divine martial enlightenment pillars before departing. Each of the divine martial enlightenment pillars contained countless martial arts techniques. Among them, the rarest and most precious were the saint body techniques. It was rumored that each of the divine martial enlightenment pillars' saint body techniques was different. Anyone who could comprehend a saint body technique would have the chance to break through the celestial human bottleneck and possibly enter that mysterious domain. Unfortunately, among the 365 divine martial enlightenment pillars, few could comprehend a saint body technique due to the large number of practitioners. To his knowledge, only 2 of Meridian's many saint children had comprehended a saint body technique. As for whether there were any more, he was not very clear. After all, each saint child was extremely mysterious and seldom revealed all their cards and abilities. The 2 he knew of, who constantly practiced their saint body techniques within the Martial Academy's secret domain, were preparing themselves to go there. The mysterious aura emanating from Lu Yun was strikingly similar to that which he had previously noticed in the other 2, leading him to conclude that Lu Yun must have comprehended a saint body technique and had already embarked on the path of cultivation. Nangong Rue may have seen through it, but he did not tell anyone about it. This kind of thing was a secret regarding Lu Yun's personal life, and revealing it to others without permission might well incur his displeasure. Since he would need Lu Yun's help in the future, he naturally did not want to offend him. Lu Yun has become even stronger. I'm afraid I am no longer his match. Dugu Yuan thought to himself. The Lu Yun who had cultivated in the Devil Cloud domains for a month had not only improved his temperament, but the subtle aura of power he displayed also evoked a strong sense of danger in others. As a heavenly-level demon extermination general in the Far Suppression Legion, his cultivation had already reached the extreme of the early Golden Core realm, and it wouldn't be long before he further progressed. Nevertheless, even at this stage, the sight of the current Lu Yun sent chills down his spine. After a month of seclusion, I managed to refine only 20 imperishable golden bones. Lu Yun shook his head and sighed inwardly. He did not expect that, having consumed nearly 500,000 spirit crystals and being in such an outstanding cultivation site within the Devil Cloud domains, he would only have refined 20 imperishable golden bones. The consumption was truly terrifying, and the efficiency was simply too low. I now have a level 10 innate talent, and more than 200 of my bones have already been refined to their limit. Even with these conditions while cultivating the Great Sun Undying Golden Body technique, I used up so many resources and time to refine, less than 1/10 of the total number of imperishable golden bones. Chapter 509, Chapter 509, Chapter 275, Leaving the Pass, Meeting the Fei Ling Martial Academy members again, _2, Chapter 509, Chapter 275, Leaving the Pass, Meeting the Fei Ling Martial Academy members again, _2, Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M, if others were to cultivate the Great Sun Undying Golden Body, it would be a question whether they could even achieve the entry level. Lu Yun thought to himself, if one were to observe his arms at this moment, they would discover that there was an indomitable aura on his arms, faintly shrouded in golden light. The 20 imperishable golden bones refined by Lu Yun were all concentrated in his arms. In this way, he could exert the partial effect of the imperishable golden bones as early as possible. Junior brother Lu, congratulations on coming out of seclusion. Nangong Rui walked up, smiling at Lu Yun. This person is terrifying. His strength is definitely not inferior to Wei Tianlun's. Upon seeing this person for the first time, Lu Yun felt an inexplicable sense of crisis. However, who is this young man? It seemed that he hasn't met him before. How could he know himself? Seeing Lu Yun's puzzled face, Nangong Rui introduced himself. Junior brother Lu, im Nangong Rui, also a disciple of the Martial Academy, but am from the Martial Academy in Qing Province. Nangong Rui. All information about this man surfaced in Lu Yun's mind. Nangong Rui had a very high reputation in the Demon Suppression Army because he was one of the Martial Academy's saint children. In the entire Demon Suppression Army, including Lu Yun, there were only 4 Martial Academy's saint children. Moreover, each saint child possessed terrifying strength, advancing through the levels as effortlessly as drinking water. Upon learning that the other party was Nangong Rui, Lu Yun also realized that he had underestimated the other's strength before. The main general of Far Suppression Legion, Wei Tianluan, most likely could not be Nangong Rui's match. So it's senior brother Nangong. Lu Yun revealed a smile and slightly bowed towards the other party. Although the two were from different martial academies, both were Martial Academy disciples, so it wasn't inappropriate for them to call each other senior brother. The two left the Devil Cloud domains together, and then Nangong Rui tentatively asked, "Junior brother Lu, if I'm not mistaken, you should have comprehended the holy body technique from the divine martial enlightenment pillar and have already started cultivating it." As he said this, his gaze towards Lu Yun became somewhat inexplicable. The holy body technique was the biggest secret of the divine martial enlightenment pillar and the reason for the first generation primordial emperor to descend here. Nangong Rui didn't know much about the specific details. However, he knew that everyone who comprehended and successfully cultivated the holy body technique would have a future full of potential. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun couldn't help but ask, "Senior brother Nangong, have you also cultivated one of the holy body techniques?" "No, the holy body technique requires sufficient talent and opportunities. Even though I have been fortunate enough to become one of the Martial Academy's saint children, I lack such a destiny." Nangong Rui revealed a look of regret. He quickly recovered and continued, "Actually, some saint children have also comprehended the holy body technique, but they cannot cultivate it. For example, senior brother Gongsun Zhonghong, he had also comprehended a holy body technique, but after cultivating for decades, he still hasn't been able to achieve the entry level. Junior brother Lu, not only did you comprehend the holy body technique from the divine martial enlightenment painting, but you've also grasped the threshold of cultivation. Just on this point alone, you're already surpassed many saint children and heavenly prides. Does senior brother Nangong know what kind of holy body technique Gongsun Zhonghong comprehended?" Nangong Rui shook his head with a bitter smile. "Even though I have a good relationship with senior brother Gongsun Zhonghong, I don't know much about this secret." Lu Yun nodded in understanding. He knew in his heart that the secret of the holy body technique was something that the fewer people knew about, the better. "Junior brother Lu, if possible, try to cultivate the holy body technique as soon as possible. In the near future, you'll have an unexpected surprise." Upon hearing the other party's words, Lu Yun felt as if the other person seemed to know a secret he was unaware of. Nangong Rui wanted to share more with Lu Yun, but at this moment, his token suddenly shook. Seeing the message that appeared on it, his brow furrowed slightly. Junior brother Lu, I have something to attend to. Let's talk next time. After he finished speaking, Nangong Rue didn't wait for Lu Yun to reply and turned into a rainbow light, disappearing into the sky. Looking at the afterimage left at the original location, Lu Yun revealed a bitter smile. Soon, he left the Red Moon Demon sect and arrived at Skypool City, the temporary residence of Far Suppression Legion. Ling Hu Dao and Duga Yuan were both cultivating in the Devil Cloud domains, so the only Golden Core expert present was true Master Changkong. As for Wei Tianluan, he was elusive and nobody knew where he was. Lu Yun, the recent battles in the nearby seas have come to an end. What are your plans for the future? Master Changkong looked at Lu Yun, stroked his chin beard, and smiled kindly. After further honing my skills, I plan to go for training in the depths of the endless great wilderness. Regarding his future plans, Lu Yun had no intention of hiding anything. Master Changkong nodded slightly, greatly approving of Lu Yun's character, which was constantly honing itself despite already possessing terrifying talent and combat power. Lu Yun, I think before you enter the endless great wilderness, you might want to take a trip to the Origin Martial Academy. There, you can gain a chance for a great opportunity. Oh, an opportunity? Master Changkong explained. The Origin Martial Academy is the main academy that governs over all martial academies in the various provinces of Morijin. Every martial academy disciple has a record there. Furthermore, talents like you, who have become saint children, can enter the Origin Martial Secret domain for cultivation. Upon hearing that there was such a good opportunity, Lu Yun was immediately tempted. All right, I'll make sure to visit the Origin Martial Academy when the time comes. Afterward, Lu Yun arrived at the 18th Army campsite. Upon hearing that Lu Yun had returned from seclusion at the Red Moon Demon sect, Yi Xian, Qing Ho, Fang Hui, Meng Fan, and many other demon extermination generals had been waiting for him in advance. Chapter 510, Chapter 510, Chapter 275. Leaving the pass, meeting the Flying Spirit Martial Academy members again, _3, Chapter 510, Chapter 275. Leaving the pass, meeting the Flying Spirit Martial Academy members again, _3 lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M. General Lu has finally returned. Generally speaking, Lu Yun rarely secludes himself for such a long time. This time, his strength must have undergone earth-shattering changes after he comes out. In their anticipation, it didn't take long for Lu Yun to finally arrive. His gaze fell on several people, and he could clearly see their cultivation, realm, and background at a glance. Yi Xian, his aura solidifies incomparably, already stabilized at the early stage of the rune seed realm. Qing Ho, with more solid accumulation, can trigger Thunder Tribulation at any time and officially advance to the rune seed realm. As for Fang Hui and Meng Fan, they also successfully condensed rune seeds, but judging from the aura emanating from the two, they should have just reached the mid-level rune seed realm. Compared to ordinary people, this result is not bad. However, without any opportunities, they have little hope of reaching the Golden Core realm. Of course, it's not only them who made progress. Other black-rank demon extermination generals have also advanced to the peak level of the Golden Body realm, beginning to inscribe laws. Lu Yun scanned around, and finally, his gaze fell on Yi Xian. The war in the nearby waters is basically over, and there won't be any wars in a short period of time. I may leave the Demon Suppression Army soon, so the 18th Army will be handed over to Yi Xian in the future, and I will report this to General Wei. If nothing unexpected happens, he will agree. General, this, Qing Ho and others were stunned, and Yi Xian also appeared surprised. Lu Yun waved his hand slightly. During the time I was in charge of the 18th Army, I didn't provide you with many benefits. Then, he took out more than 10 mysterious instruments, with the lowest level being mid-level. Among them, Yi Xian received a superior profound artifact, while Qinghe, Feng Hui, and Meng Fan each received one top-grade mysterious weapon. General, this is too valuable, Yi Xian said with a feeling of being overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. A superior profound artifact, if exchanged with demon extermination points, would be an enormous amount. Now, Lu Yun casually gave it to himself, and it was impossible to say that he was not excited. Qinghe and others also had excited expressions on their faces, but they seemed a bit uncomfortable for a while. You've all followed me in battles and can be considered my people. Just accept them, no need to be polite. Lu Yun said indifferently with a smile. Yes, thank you, General. Yi Xian and others hesitated for a moment, but eventually nodded and put away their mysterious instruments. There was a touch of gratitude in their expressions. These mysterious instruments were undoubtedly a significant boost to their combat power. After waving Yi Xian and others away, Lu Yun summoned the people of Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Congratulations to the Saint Child for coming out. Seeing Lu Yun, Lei Kang laughed joyfully. We greet the Saint Child. Gu Yuan, Bailey Yi, and other Flying Spirit Martial Academy disciples bowed with clasped hands towards Lu Yun. Seeing the lineup of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Lu Yun's eyes darkened when he noticed a few missing figures. When they first set out from Ling Province, there were 10 elite disciples and 3 Golden Body Realm Elders in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Now, there was only one elder left, Lei Kang. Out of the 10 elite disciples, there were only 4 left, Bailey Yi, Gu Yuan by Haoshuan, and Qiu Guyun. Together with Lu Yun, there were only 5 people left, and the loss was quite heavy. Fortunately, after experiencing life and death battles, Bailey Yi and others achieved significant improvements. Qiu Guyun had completely stabilized at the early stage of the Golden Body Realm, while Bailey Yi and the other 3 had reached the peak of the Origin Fluid Realm. Moreover, Gu Yuan had accumulated profound foundations, and the aura he exuded was not much weaker than Qiu Guyun's. With this in mind, the dimness in Lu Yun's eyes vanished completely. You 3 have all reached the category for condensing gold bodies. You should need attribute spiritual objects more, and I just happen to have some that I've harvested. It's of no use to me, so I'll give them to you. He then took out 12 top-notch attribute spiritual objects and gave them to Bailey Yi, Gu Yuan, and Bai Haoshuan. Bailey Yi and others looked at the attribute spiritual objects in front of them, full of rich energy, and their eyes lit up. Each attribute spiritual object was of top-notch quality, extremely rare, and unbelievably precious. So, for a moment, they were at a loss. Lu Yun spoke with a slightly reproachful tone. You are all the future pillars of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. These attribute spiritual objects are not given to you for free. I only hope that when you grow up in the future, you can strengthen the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Yes, thank you, Saint Child. Bailey Yi, Gu Yuan, and Bai Haoshuan nodded with determination. With this move from Lu Yun, their admiration and respect for him grew even more. Lu Yun did not show favoritism, and he also gave a good spiritual object to Qiu Guyun. Seeing this, Lei Kang, who was standing beside them, had a look of relief on his face. This is my Flying Spirit Martial Academy's Saint Child, who, even after growing to the realm of a true master in the Golden Core realm, always has the Flying Spirit Martial Academy on his mind. Chapter 511, Chapter 511, Chapter 276. Mo Wuzong appears for Direction City is in danger then. He went straight to find Wei Tianluan. Chapter 511, Chapter 276. Mo Wuzong appears for Direction City is in danger then. He went straight to find Wei Tianluan. Lease reading Omicron N. Novel Cool. Omicron M at present. The Morijin Imperial Court temporarily suspended its attack on 100 Sect, focusing all its efforts on conquering the boundless Great Wilderness. Therefore, the Demon Suppression Army would not have much action in the future. At most, it would only deter and appease the 12 domains such as the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, Profound Darkness Domain, and so on. This meant that there would not be much to gain for Lu Yun if he continued to stay in the Demon Suppression Army. So, he went to find Wei Tianluan to resign from his post as leader of the 18th Army in the Far Suppression Legion. When Wei Tianluan learned the purpose of Lu Yun's visit, he felt some regret. But knowing that he could not change Lu Yun's decision, he gladly agreed. Lu Yun, since you said you still want to hone your skills in the nearby sea area for some time, it's like this. Hey, race a mission for you. Wei Tianluan said. A mission? Lu Yun's eyes flashed with curiosity. The imperial court decided to establish prefectures in the 12 domains, such as the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, White Lotus Domain, Profound Darkness Domain, and so on. However, many remaining forces of various sects still needed to be purged. In the Four-Direction City to the southeast of Skypool City, there are small groups of remnants from the Red Moon Demon sect. You'll accompany by Changfeng and the others to clear them out while helping the imperial court-appointed county governor to establish the Four-Direction prefecture there. Wei Tianluan said with a smile. After the Red Moon Demon sect was wiped out, the vast Scarlet Moon Demon Domain was leaderless and in chaos, requiring the Demon Suppression Army to be stationed there. At the same time, martial artists who practiced demonic cultivation techniques also became more active, necessitating the many demon extermination generals to eliminate them. Once the demonic troubles were resolved, prefectures would be set up, and these territories would be incorporated under Meridian's rule. Right now, Lu Yun was the strongest Earth-rank demon extermination general, having even killed those in the Golden Core realm. With such power, he was sure to eliminate the demonic chaos in the Four-Direction City. Now, my strength has improved at least twice as much as before. It's time to go out and hone my skills, Lu Yun thought, accepting gladly. Lu Yun, prioritize your own safety in the face of danger. Wei Tianluan reminded at last. I understand. Lu Yun nodded. Then, Lu Yun took his leave from Wei Tianluan. In the sky, 5 figures stood firm in midair. They were by Changfeng, Zhang Wenyun, Zhuang Ziyuan, Wei Zongqing, and Hong Xingwu. Behind each of them, 100-man team, fully armed and ready to go. Bai Changfeng's 100-man team wore green armor and carried long knives in their hands. Zhang Wenyun's 100-man team donned red armor and wielded long spears. Zhuang Ziyuan's 100-man team dressed in white armor and held long swords. Hong Xingwa's 100-man team were clad in black armor and brandished large axes. Wei Zongcheng's 100-man team sported blood-colored armor and carried blood spears. The 500-man teams were all imposing, filled with fighting spirit, and exuded a powerful aura. Lu Yun was immediately impressed by this luxurious lineup at a glance. Wow, even the weakest in these 500-man teams had reached the Golden Body realm. With such terrifying strength, it was not just about establishing a prefecture, but they could even destroy one. Bai Changfeng and the others showed a smile when they saw Lu Yun. Lu Yun flew up into the sky, clasping his hands towards Bai Changfeng, and the others with a smile. Sorry for making you wait. Let's set off now. With that, he turned into a beam of light and disappeared in the sky. Haha, let's go. The 5 of them laughed, and each led their 100-man teams on a grand march through the sky above Skypool City. Various family forces and martial artists along the way looked on with trembling and astonishment, looking up into the sky. Is that the Demon Suppression Army's powerhouses? Where are they going? I don't know. It's been a long time since the Demon Suppression Army mobilized on such a large scale. Are they trying to suppress a rebellion? Not quite. This time they didn't use warships, just powerful individuals who are capable of flying. Hiss, Are all these people Golden Body Realm or above? The various martial artists saw the quickly moving figures in the sky, gasping in shock, and felt their scalp tingling. What had happened to cause the Demon Suppression Army to send out hundreds of Golden Body Realm martial artists? Many martial artists exchanged glances, understanding the meaning in each other's eyes. It was estimated that it might be another unlucky family or sect. Nowadays, the most powerful sects within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles have been wiped out. Even the peak of the pyramid, the Red Moon Demon Sect, no longer exists. Which force could withstand the Demon Suppression Army? For Direction City, Gu Shunzhang looked helplessly at the scrolls of documents on his desk. He had taken office in Four Direction City for almost a month, but apart from making a brief census of the population and registering them under the jurisdiction of Four Direction City, there had been no other achievements. Other works and policies could not be implemented solely because the remnants of the sects that fled into the territory greatly hindered the enforcement of the city lord's mansion's edicts. Sigh, at this rate, I don't know when Four Direction City will be built into Four Direction Prefecture, he thought, feeling his scalp tingle. Taking over as county governor of Four Direction Prefecture, his family had paid a huge price. If he couldn't show any achievements and lost his position, the family's losses would be immense. Young master, something terrible has happened. At that moment, a middle-aged scholar rushed into the study in a panic. The middle-aged scholar was Gu Shunzhang's old servant, usually referred to as Uncle Lu. Gu Shunzhang usually left many specific tasks to Uncle Lu to handle. Uncle Lu, what has happened? Gu Shunzhang supported his forehead and asked calmly. Chapter 512, Chapter 512, Chapter 276. Mo Wuzong appears for Direction City is in danger _2, Chapter 512, Chapter 276. Mo Wuzong appears for Direction City is in danger _2 lease, reading on Zavel. M. Gu Shunzhang was assigned by the family as a county governor not just because of his strong martial arts prowess, but also due to his calm temperament and methodical approach to tasks. He was revered as the Qilin son of the Gu family. So even when he saw the middle-aged scholar's panicked look, he maintained his composure. Master General Lin Feng and the 5,000 soldiers of Qilin army under him were attacked in the Float Cloud Mountain range. Their entire army was wiped out. The entire army was wiped out. Even for someone as calm as Gu Shunzhang, he couldn't help but furrow his brows after hearing this. Lin Feng, like him, was from Wu Province, one of the big figures for the future of Four Direction Prefecture. Of the 5,000 Qilin army led by him, 1/10 were the Lin family's personal guards, while the rest were conscripted from local martial artists. However, even the weakest soldier in the Qilin army had reached the Meridian Passage realm in terms of cultivation. Combined with Lin Feng, who was a peak master of the Golden Body realm, they posed a threat that ordinary forces could not handle. Wanting them eradicated was an outcome beyond his expectations. Gu Shunzhang slightly shook his head, then handed one of the documents on his desk to Uncle Lu, saying, Uncle Lu, this is the plan for the merging and establishment of Four Direction Prefectures, cities, and counties. Distribute it to the mansions of the 12 city lords, insisting they must implement this plan and complete the transformation within a month. Receiving the document, Uncle Lu was hesitant. Master, what about the incident in the Float Cloud Mountain range? This incident is beyond the capabilities of Four Direction City. I will report the truth. It won't be long before the Demon Suppression Army arrives. Gu Shunzhang spoke lightly. To deal with the remnants of these sects, we must rely on the power of the Demon Suppression Army. I heard one of the Demon Suppression Army's legions is garrisoned in Sky Pool City. It's quite close to our Four Direction City, Uncle Lu tentatively said. Gu Shunzhang nodded slightly. A few days ago, I sent people to ask for help. If everything goes as expected, the demon suppression army should arrive within 3 days. Uncle Lou, you need to compile all the demons around Four Direction City so I can explain the situation to the commander of the demon suppression army. Yes, master. After finishing his words, Uncle Lou slowly exited the study. Gu Shunzhang, appearing more worried than before, bore an expression of concern. The situation in Four Direction City was far more serious than Uncle Lou knew. There were many families harboring ill intentions, with remnants of the sects coveting their territory. Without the elder from the Origin Martial Academy in the city, he alone wouldn't be able to maintain the city's stability. Rubbing his eyebrows, Gu Shunzhang let out a deep breath, then gazed at the sky outside through the window of his study. I just hope that the incident in the Float Cloud Mountain doesn't involve the remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect. As the future county governor of Four Direction Prefecture, he had access to many insider pieces of information. On past battlefields, 7 or 8 Golden Core, Realm Masters, and dozens of Rune Seed Realm Masters of the Red Moon Demon sect had escaped. These strong masters, even if they didn't all gather together, could cause significant damage if 4 or 5 of them assembled, especially the few Golden Core Realm Masters. They were absolutely terrifying entities. Any one of them could easily annihilate the achievements he made in Four Direction City. Bang! 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 The earth suddenly trembled. In the distance, a formidable crowd appeared, filling the horizon. Looking at the overwhelmingly massive, dark crowd of strong men, all the martial artists in Four Direction City were visibly horrified. The young talents and warriors from various county families of Morrijin were all despondent. Four Direction City is done for, and the investments my Huang family made here will be completely wasted. An elderly man said, a look of despair in his eyes. Uncle Lou, who had just left the city lord's mansion, was filled with despair upon seeing the sudden arrival of the powerful figures in Four Direction City. How could so many strong men appear all at once? He himself had an impressive martial arts cultivation, but he could not discern the details of at least 20 people in the crowd. This meant that there were at least 20 Rune Seed Realm Masters among them, whereas in Four Direction City, even if counting Gu Shunzhang, the elder from Origin Martial Academy, and the future prefecture captain and deputy, there were only 4 Rune Seed Realm Masters. In terms of high-end combat power alone, Four Direction City was completely overshadowed. Not to mention, their opponents had so many Golden Body Realm and Origin Fluid Realm warriors. Facing such a large scale of sect martial artists, the city defense forces of Four Direction City were completely insignificant. Boom, boom, boom. On the distant horizon, an army of tens of thousands of martial artists was advancing with overpowering momentum. At the same time, more than 20 warriors of the Rune Seed Realm and hundreds of the Gold Body Realm appeared out of thin air. Those are the sect master and supreme elder of the Red Sun sect. In Four Direction City, a middle-aged man clad in black armor spoke. He was one of the commanders of the Qilin army, a strong warrior of the Gold Body Realm. However, facing such a huge number of powerful warriors, a Gold Body Realm warrior alone wasn't much of a help. What are the Red Sun sect, Green Jade sect, and Puzzle Hall trying to do? The family powerhouses within Four Direction City felt a foreboding feeling. Above Four Direction City, a Rune Seed Realm powerhouse spoke. Listen well, people of Four Direction City. I am the sect master of the Green Jade sect. My purpose here is to drive out the people of the Marine dynasty. Anyone who surrenders to our sects can avoid unnecessary slaughter. Aren't the Red Sun sect and the Green Jade sect afraid of being annihilated by the Demon Suppression Army? Uncle Lou couldn't help but ask. That was his biggest doubt. These sects should be terrified at this moment, yet they dared to attack for Direction City. The sect master of Green Jade sect snorted coldly. Don't pretend that we don't know the attitude of Marine towards 100 sects. None of the sects survived the Demon Suppression Army's rampage. Rather than waiting for the army to come to us, we might as well strike first. With those words, he dived down from the sky. At the same time, scores of martial artists who came with him all set off towards Four Direction City. All generals, heed my command, protect Four Direction City, kill! Prefecture Captain Li Gang roared. The 25,000 Qilin army charged out like a flood, engaging in a deadly battle with the invasion force. Limbs flew, blood splattered. The intersection of cries, screams, and intense battle noises created a bloody and tragic scene. The 25,000 Qilin army simply couldn't hold off these powerful warriors. The commanders of the Qilin army, under the siege of numerous Golden Body Realm warriors, were continuously beaten back, some even perishing. In terms of numbers and strength, Four Direction City's battle power was unable to hold off the combined forces of Green Jade sect, Red Sun sect, and other sections. Humph, do they really think there's no one left in Four Direction City? At this moment, a cold voice echoed through the void. A burst of tremendous pressure spread out. All the Qilin army and the city defenders in Four Direction City felt a quaking in their bodies, experienced a sense of suffocation. In the sky, a figure in a white robe appeared. It was Master Changshan from the Origin Martial Academy, Golden Core Realm Powerhouse. When Master Changshan appeared, the sect masters of Green Jade and Red Sun sects, along with the other Rune Seed Realm powerhouses, were taken aback. For Direction City, unexpectedly, had a Golden Core Real Master guarding it. A Golden Core Realm Real Master. This elder from Origin Martial Academy turns out to be a Golden Core Realm powerhouse. The commanders of the Qilin army made joyfully tearful cries. Uncle Lu also displayed great joy, like a man finding a lifeline in a desperate situation. Before this, he was unaware of Master Changshan's true strength, only knowing that he planned to establish a martial academy in Four Direction Prefecture. Knowing Master Changshan's capacity now, he was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. However, before Uncle Lu and the commanders of the Qilin army could even rejoice, another 2 Golden Core Realm auras exploded in the sky. One of the individuals was a young man in a dark gold robe, Mo Wuzong, the heavenly pride of Red Moon Demon sect. Even Master Changshan's face changed at this moment. Even though he was a Golden Core Realm powerhouse, he had just advanced recently, and he was powerless against 2 warriors of the same rank, who were not weaker than him. Moreover, he felt an extremely strong, oppressive force emanating from the young man in the dark golden robe. The glimmer of hope that had just arisen in the hearts of Uncle Lu and the others was extinguished with the appearance of these 2 Golden Core Realm powerhouses. Gu Shunzhang's eyes also reflected a flashing sense of despair. Master Changshan had always been his trump card. Even though he knew that dozens of Rune Seed Realm warriors were besieging Four Direction City, he didn't despair, because a Golden Core Realm Real Master could turn the tide. However, the enemy also had Golden Core Realm powerhouses, and there were 2 of them at that. Could it be that even the heavens are against me? Gu Shunzhang clenched his fists, looking desolately at the endless sky. Chapter 513, Chapter 513, Chapter 277. Lu Yin arrives, killing Mo Wuzong. Chapter 513, Chapter 277. Lu Yin arrives, killing Mo Wuzong Lise. Reading on Zavel. In the void, 2 figures approached with steps through the air, both emitting an aura of the Golden Core Realm. They were Red Moon Demon sects, Heavenly Pride disciple Mo Wuzong and Elder Fan Xinghe, standing in midair, their auras firmly locked onto Master Changshan, blocking his escape routes. Looking at the sudden appearance of the two men, Master Changshan's face changed dramatically. Having just broken through to the Golden Core realm, he was in high spirits when he applied to establish a martial academy from the Origin Martial Academy. However, he did not expect to encounter the siege from Green Jade Sect and other sects as soon as he arrived in Four Direction City. What surprised him even more was the existence of two powerful experts at the Golden Core realm behind these sections. So there's another big fish. Well, killing you will just about relieve me of my hatred. Mo Wuzong sneered. I advise you to return from whence you came. The Demon Suppression Army will arrive soon. Otherwise, you will be completely destroyed when the time comes. Master Changshan forced himself to calm down and spoke indifferently. Demon Suppression Army. Mo Wuzong frowned. Then a deep hatred flashed in his eyes. Even if the Demon Suppression Army can come, what kind of powerful people can they have? All right, one won't waste words with you. After I've killed you all, it'll slowly settle the score with the Demon Suppression Army. As Mo Wuzong ordered, the martial artists attacked once more, like a torrent breaking through everything, crushing towards the Qilin army. Fan Xinghe and Mo Wuzong teamed up to suppress Master Changshan. It wasn't long before Master Changshan was forced to retreat continuously, blood oozing from the corners of his mouth. After all, he had just broken through to the Golden Core realm not long ago, and his realm hadn't fully stabilized. Now, he was facing two Golden Core realm powerhouses who were stronger than him. The Mo Wuzong in the dark golden robe was even more terrifying in strength. Every move he made would provoke powerful loss. In no time, Master Changshan was sent flying in the void, spitting blood from his mouth, his figure extremely embarrassed. Gu Shunzhong was also suppressed by the Green Jade Sect Master and the leader of Red Sun Sect, having no power to fight back. The Qilin army on the ground was also in complete disarray. 20 Rune Seed Realm experts, hundreds of Gold Body Realm powerhouses, and a large number of martial artists were simply no match for the Qilin army of Four Direction City. The low and middle-tier forces were utterly crushed. The top powerhouse, Master Changshan, was also severely injured. Loyal old servant Uncle Liu was killed by a Rune Seed Realm expert. My ambitions, are they to end like this? Gu Shunzhang's heart was filled with unwillingness and despair. His ambition to establish a great region and lead his family to rise again was about to be shattered. His face filled with disappointment and despair. I've just left the Origin Martial Academy, and my life is in danger. Master Changshan's face was filled with sadness, no longer holding any hope. This is just the beginning. Mo Wuzong's indifferent expression as he was about to strike down with one palm. At that moment, it seemed as if there was a tremor in the heavens and the earth. Immediately after, a cold voice abruptly sounded. The remnants of the Red Moon Demon Sect, how dare you show yourselves? Are you tired of living? A faint whisper, like coming from an ice cellar, sent chills down everyone's spine. As the faint whisper fell, the entire battlefield was plunged into a deathly silence, as if frozen. Mo Wuzong and Fan Xinghe frowned in the sky above Four Direction City. Who could it be? Even from a long distance, the voice had an effect on their willpower. The newcomer is powerful. Kill quickly, and then leave. Mo Wuzong gave an order, and then his mid-stage Golden Core power completely exploded. Divine ability, mix Origin Annihilation Palm. Thousands of palms formed by the interweaving of laws fell from the sky, like a dense rain, causing Master Changshan to vomit blood uncontrollably. His figure fell straight from the sky, crashing heavily to the ground. Heavenly sanguine slaughter. The blood spirit, ghostly spear appeared in Mo Wuzong's hand, displaying a dazzling crimson spear light. He then thrust it horizontally across the sky. The terrifying spear light fell from the void, bombarding the dying Master Changshan. "I'm finished." Seeing the terrifying spear descending, Master Changshan was utterly hopeless. At that moment, a figure enveloped in a hazy golden light suddenly descended. He seemed to have appeared out of thin air, suddenly reaching out a hand, and then the powerful force erupted like a volcanic explosion, promptly grabbing the long crimson spear. Then, a cold and domineering voice emerged from his mouth. "The remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect will be slain without mercy." One merciless sentence set the heavens and earth trembling with a killing intent that had never been seen before, filled with bone-piercing coldness and abyssal depths. "It's you!" Looking at the figure that suddenly descended and saved Master Changshan, Emo Wuzong's pupils shrank slightly, his expression stunned and shocked. The figure was all too familiar to him. He had killed numerous Rune Seed Realm experts from the Red Moon Demon sect in the battlefield, even slaying the Netherworld sect master. Even with his own power, he had only been able to suppress the figure, not kill him. "Very well, you actually took the initiative to appear. Today, this saint child will kill you and make up for the regrets of the past." Emo Wuzong's voice was cold, filled with murderous intent. Now, he fully understood that the person behind the voice was Lu Yun, and the thought of retreating from his heart completely disappeared. A month ago, Lu Yun was not his opponent, and he was chased all over the battlefield. Now, he had broken through the realm again, advanced to the mid-stage of the Golden Core realm. His strength had increased several times, and to kill Lu Yun was merely a matter of raising his hand. Crack! He reached out his hand, enveloped by a dark purple light. The blood spirit ghostly spear returned to his hand, and then the spear lights swelled 100-fold. Chapter 514, Chapter 514, Chapter 277. Lu Yun arrives, kills Emo Wuzong _2. Chapter 514, Chapter 277. Lu Yun arrives, kills Emo Wuzong _2 Lise. Reading on Zavel. A towering and imposing spear light, like a heavenly pillar, radiated a chilling and stem aura. Boom. Splatter. A massive force burst forth, tearing through the sky and ruefully charging towards Lu Yun. The void exploded, countless laws of power lost control. Wildly piercing everywhere, the raging torrent spreading around. The entire void seemed to be occupied by this spear light, with everything else losing its radiance. Under the endless bloody light, Lu Yun laughed, his smile filled with an indescribable calm and ease. "Let's test the power of the imperishable golden bones." Immediately, 20 pieces of imperishable golden bones erupted, and his body was instantly boosted with supreme power. This force was majestic and boundless. There were simply no words to describe it. Lu Yun clenched his fists. The sky lion shaking the sky was used, and a colossal golden heavenly lion roared out. The golden heavenly lion collided with the bloody spear light like planets clashing. Ripples of void quickly spread out. During this collision, the spear light containing terrifying force was directly shattered by the golden heavenly lion, which then rushed towards Emo Wuzong with relentless momentum. Splatter! Emo Wuzong's figure was like a kite with its string cut, blasted away. The scene fell into momentary silence. "How is it possible? Your strength!" Emo Wuzong spurted blood from his mouth, speaking incoherently. He was already shocked when Lu Yun was able to handle his spear attack earlier. But now, the power of Lu Yun's fist had exceeded his expectation. This terrifying strength could not have possibly erupted from Lu Yun's frail body. Worthy of being the imperishable golden bones, just by refining 20 pieces, my strength has been elevated to such a level. Lu Yun was also somewhat astonished. He had personally experienced Emo Wuzong's strength the last time, and even if he used divine ability, he could barely fight against him. Now, the latter had further advanced, elevating to the middle stage of the Golden Core realm, becoming more powerful. Even so, after activating the imperishable Golden Bones, he had blasted him into a daze with one punch. From a distance, Emo Wuzong wiped the fresh blood from the comber of his mouth, his face extremely gloomy. He said coldly, "Elder Fan, the progress of this child's strength is too fast. Let's join forces and kill him." After the previous exchange, even if he was arrogant, he knew that he was no longer a match for Lu Yun, so he decisively sought help from Fan Xinghe. Fan Xinghe took a deep breath, and then said solemnly, "Saint Child, why don't we retreat first? Since Lu Yun has appeared here, other strong players from the Demon Suppression Army might not be far away. I have said remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect will be eliminated without mercy. There's no escape for you." With those words, Lu Yun drew out a superior profound saber. The 7-color stone turned into a streak of flowing light, augmenting it, instantly elevating it to the level of lower-grade treasure. At the same time, the imperishable golden bones on his arms were activated, with a terrifying power strengthening it. Clang! Heaven and earth draw saber slash. Infinite and vast saber intent erupted in an instant, transforming into an invisible 1,000-zhang-long killing edge, slashing across the sky. The terrifying blade edge cut through even the space. Everywhere it passed, leaving a long and pitch-black crack in space. "Elder Fan, be careful." Emo Wuzong's face changed, and he immediately shouted. He had personally experienced the terror of Lu Yun's slash. Its speed was almost at its utmost, and ordinary people simply couldn't evade it. Now, with a stronger Lu Yun using this technique again, even he couldn't see any trace of movement at all. Damn! Fan Xing's pupils contracted, filled with unprecedented fear and shock. The shocking killing sword sent chills down his spine, filling him with coldness. Scarlet Shield. With a low growl, Fan Xinghe unleashed all of his Golden Core realm's strength. A shield radiating bloody aura was offered, blocking above him. It was densely covered with runes, and with the intertwining laws, it resembled an unbreakable bloody dome in the sky. However, the result was splatter. The invisible 1,000-zhang long blade edge passed. The scarlet shield was sliced, and a head full of shock and horror in his eyes was decapitated. The esteemed Golden Core realm powerhouse was killed in one blow with no resistance at all. Light golden blood splattered. The Golden Core filled with laws and strong spiritual power shattered, turning into a shower of golden rain. Everyone was stunned, even forgetting to fight for this precious golden rain, letting it return to the heaven and earth. Watching this scene, Emo Wuzong's pupils shrank, his body shuddering violently, his face full of disbelief. Lu Yun's power was so strong. Why had the same divine ability suddenly become so much more potent? Initially, Emo Wuzong thought that even if Lu Yun's strength improved considerably, it wouldn't significantly outpace his own. As long as he and Fan Xinghe joined forces, they would certainly be able to crush Lu Yun. Additionally, with so many experts at the Rune Seed realm on their side, killing Lu Yun did not seem to be just a pipe dream. However, the strength demonstrated by Lu Yun had completely shattered his confidence. Has his divine ability advanced to the 2nd level, or even higher? Emo Wuzong suddenly uttered this thought. The Demon Suppression Army's Far Suppression Legion is here. All remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect will be slain without mercy. The squad of 100 men, led by Changfeng, Hong Xingwu, and Zhuang Ziyuan, roared in unison, descending from the void above. With a thunderous sound, the sky above Four Direction City shook violently. Although it was a team of just over 500 men, They made the tens of thousands of martial artists from various sects who were currently engaged in intense combat turn pale and feel chills run down their spines. It's the Demon Suppression Army. My God, it's the Demon Suppression Army. We are saved, for Direction City is saved. Seeing hundreds of Demon Suppression Army units mysteriously appearing in the sky, a commander in the fiercely battling Chilean army was exhilarated, as if he had just seen a beacon of hope. He sensed that each and every aura emanating from those Demon Suppression Army units was incredibly powerful. The weakest one wasn't much weaker than himself. The Demon Suppression Army's reinforcement has arrived as expected. Both the sect master of the Green Jade sect and that of the Red Sun sect exclaimed with stunned expressions on their faces. The reputation of the Demon Suppression Army had impressed itself deeply in the hearts of the martial artists of the 100 sects. Not to mention, all of these 500 Demon Suppression soldiers possessed strength equivalent to or beyond the Golden Body realm, and the few leading them were even more unfathomable in strength. The leaders of the squads dressed in green, red, and white armor, the Demon Suppression soldiers were all at the peak of the Rune Seed realm. The Demon Suppression Army has finally arrived. Gu Shunzhong, whose energy was in chaos in the sky, heaved a quiet sigh of relief. His expression returned to calm and composed. He understood that with such a powerful force of the Demon Suppression Army, combined with the abnormal battle power of Lu Yun, the crisis of Four Direction City was no longer existent. On the contrary, all the previous obstacles that had troubled the establishment of the Four Direction Prefecture would be completely eliminated. Lu Yun casually glanced at the Chilean army down below, which had been reduced to fewer than 1,000 men. He gently waved his hand, and the 500 members of the Demon Suppression Army immediately transformed into 5 streams that resembled piercing torrents, which charged towards the allied martial artists, led by Emo Wuzong. The resistance put up by this mere squad of 500 soldiers from the Demon Suppression Army, when immersed in an army of tens of thousands of martial artists from the allied sects, was somewhat unbelievable. Following just 2 charges, there were only less than 10,000 martial artists surviving. It was simply terrifying, making one shudder with fear. As expected of the Demon Suppression Army, their strength is far more than what the Chilean army can equal. Gu Shunzhong murmured softly to himself, later making up his mind that once the Four Direction Prefecture was established and everything was in order, he must strengthen the overall strength of the Chilean army. Demons, they are demons. Run quickly. The remaining 10,000 martial artists from the various sects panicked and got utterly disorganized. The sect masters from the Green Jade sect, Red Sun sect, among others, also turned tail and fled immediately. Suddenly, a river of golden light condensed out of empty space, sharply blocking these powerful men from the different sections. Then, by Changfeng, Zhang Wenyun, Hong Xingwu, and Wei Zongqing attacked simultaneously. Not long after, around a dozen bodies fell from the sky. Moreover, 7 or 8 streaks of rainbow lights had completely disappeared in the sky above Four Direction City. Seeing this scene, Emo Wuzong knew the tide had turned against them. Taking a deep breath, Emo Wuzong said bitterly, "Lu Yun, I will be back." As the words fell, he transformed into a streak of rainbow light, shooting towards the sky. He was not foolish enough not to realize that if he stayed, there was only one road left for him, one that led to death. So, he chose to flee at once. Want to leave? Lu Yun's expression was indifferent, and then, with a thought, a blood-red light suddenly appeared out of the void. It enlarged rapidly, forming a giant portal. Along with the emergence of the portal, Emo Wuzong's figure halted slightly. Simultaneously, a terrifying saber light that seemed to bisect the void erupted, holding the potential to slash apart the universe. Facing Emo Wuzong, who was in the mid-stage of the Golden Core realm, Lu Yun showed no mercy. Second, level divine ability. The demon-slaying, god-killing saber. With a soft squelch, one slash swept through and directly bisected Mo Wuzong's body, with his golden core torn apart by that terrifying force of destruction. Watching Mo Wuzong, who was nearly invincible, being slain by a single slash from Lu Yun, Master Changshan felt a chill run down his spine. Has Lu Yun, the saint child of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, become this powerful? Chapter 515, Chapter 515, Chapter 278. The Four-Sided Martial Arts Academy closes down. Mishap in the Death Swamp. Chapter 515, Chapter 278. The Four-Sided Martial Arts Academy closes down. Mishap in the Death Swamp lease. Reading on Zavel. At this time, the battle in Four Direction City had come to an end. Out of the tens of thousands of Chilean army soldiers, less than 10,000 remained. However, there was not a trace of sadness in their eyes. Instead, there was joy of surviving this calamity and shock from witnessing the arrival of a godlike being. For these Chilean army soldiers, the Golden Body Realm and the Rune Seed Realm were almost insurmountable existences. There was not much difference between the Golden Core Realm and the legendary gods. Now, the revered god has fallen, and the golden rain that descended healed their injuries and even broke through their long-held bottlenecks. I never expected that one day I would be able to break through to the true Qi realm, sighed a burly Chilean soldier. Lu Yun, who had killed Fan Xinghe and Mo Wuzong, two Golden Core realm powerhouses, in a domineering manner, now appeared indifferent. Killing two Golden Core realm experts was really not a big deal for him, not to mention that he had already begun cultivating the great sun undying golden body and tempered 20 imperishable golden bones. After upgrading both Heaven and Earth Draw, Saber Slash, and Demon, slaying God-killing Saber to the second level, his strength had undoubtedly undergone a qualitative change compared to when he first broke through to the Rune Seed realm. With a sigh, Lu Yun noticed a Sumi ring flashing in the blood stain left on Mo Wuzong's body. He grabbed it, and the Sumi ring turned into a beam of light, falling into his palm. Mo Wuzong's spiritual imprint remained on the Sumi ring, and Lu Yun casually urged his martial arts will. After raising his martial arts will to the third rank, it was easy for him to erase the spiritual imprint on it. Most of the items inside were random and messy, making Lu Yun frown slightly. His main target was pills, and it would be nice if there were other good items. Unfortunately, after searching for quite a while, he only found 2 8th-grade pills and tens of thousands of spirit crystals. In his view, Mo Wuzong was the saint child of the top power in the region, the Red Moon Demon Sect. He should at least not be poor. The saint child of the Red Moon Demon Sect only has these things. It's truly disappointing. Lu Yun shook his head slightly, his face filled with inexpressible disappointment. If Mo Wuzong were still alive, he would surely curse angrily, not to mention that he had consumed a lot of treasures to break through to the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. Just the blood spirit, ghostly spear alone was a treasure artifact. An 8th-grade pill was also an extremely precious existence. Just then, Master Changshan approached, bowing slightly to Lu Yun. Fortunately, Saint Child Lu Yun arrived in time. Otherwise, I might have fallen into the hands of the remnants of the Red Moon Demon Sect. It was a simple matter. Don't mention it. Lu Yun put away his spoils of war and waved his hand. Immediately afterward, his gaze swept over the crowd and asked indifferently, "Which of you is the prefect of the Four Direction Prefecture?" Because they had seen Lu Yun's domineering killing of the 2 Golden Core realm cultivators, everyone both admired and feared him, not daring to meet his gaze. Gu Shunzhong stepped forward, took a deep breath, and said calmly, "I am Gu Shunzhong, appointed by the imperial court as the prefect of the Four Direction Prefecture. However, due to internal and external threats, my title as prefect is somewhat undeserved. His gaze fixed on Gu Shunzhang. Lu Yun spoke indifferently. Don't worry, we have come to eliminate the hidden dangers within the Four Direction Prefecture. Just go ahead and do your job. Report all the specifics about the hidden dangers within the Four Direction Prefecture to me. All right, but since you all have traveled a long way and the Demon Suppression Army has arrived, please rest in the city for a while. Once I have all the information organized, I will report it to you in person. Very well. Lu Yun nodded slightly and then entered Four Direction City with Gu Shunzhang and the others. Four Direction City covered a wide area and had a large population, making it qualified to become a county capital. However, due to the chaotic situation and the recent attack by Mo Wuzong and sect martial artists such as the Green Jade sect, all doors in the city were closed and few people could be seen on the streets. Lu Yun wasn't concerned about all this. Everything would change once the Four Direction Prefecture was fully established. After arranging excellent accommodations for Lu Yun by Changfeng and the others, Gu Shunzhang immediately ordered his subordinates to gather information on the remaining power of the Red Moon Demon sect and the sects within the Four Direction Prefecture. Since his right-hand man, Uncle Lu, had fallen into the hands of the sect martial artists, his hatred towards the sects deepened, and he wished to capture all the sect forces within the area at once. Now that such a powerful demon suppression army was in place, clearing all the sect forces within the Four Direction Prefecture had naturally become his main task. Gu Shunzhang's work efficiency was high, and he soon presented all the details to Lu Yun. According to the Imperial Courts Division, the Four Direction Prefecture currently included Four Direction City and a total of 12 cities with a considerable distance between them, as well as more than 10 sects of various sizes, including the Green Jade sect and the Red Sun sect. Aside from the Green Jade sect, Red Sun sect, as well as a few other sects, the remaining sects had been completely disbanded. In addition, there were many remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect wandering within the Four Direction Prefecture. The existence of sect forces and the remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect had stalled the implementation of policies in the Four Direction Prefecture. Moreover, the residents and martial artists in the city did not know whether they belonged to the jurisdiction of the county government or the sections. Under these circumstances, it was impossible to establish the Four Direction Prefecture. Gu Shunzhang's intelligence report was very detailed, describing the situation of the sects and the remaining forces of the Red Moon Demon sect within the Four Direction Prefecture and its surroundings. He also submitted the information to Lu Yun in the form of a document before leaving. Chapter 516, Chapter 516, Chapter 278, Four Direction Martial Academy Seclusion, Mishap in the Death Swamp _2, Chapter 516, Chapter 278, Four Direction Martial Academy Seclusion, Mishap in the Death Swamp _2, Lise, reading on Zavel. After Gu Shunzhang left, Lu Yun pondered. It seems that apart from the remnants of the Red Moon Demon sect, the Four Direction Prefecture has no major hidden dangers. Originally, the Red Sun sect and the Green Jade sect, which were the strongest, had only a few big fish escape. Bai Changfeng and others could easily lead a 100-man squad to eradicate them. Of course, in order to collect as many pills and spiritual objects as possible, Lu Yun had to take action personally. 3 days later, the Green Jade sect was eradicated, the resources of the sect were plundered, and Lu Yun obtained many pills and spiritual objects. After refining them all, his energy level returned to the 5 million marks. Half a month later, all the sect forces were wiped out in the Four Direction Prefecture, and the energy level on his panel jumped again, reaching as much as 6 million. When he returned to Four Direction City, the city had taken on a new look with the well-ordered Qilin army, bustling streets and smiling people. Obviously, under the governance of Gu Shenzhong, everything was on the right track. Meanwhile, in the southeast of Four Direction City, connected to the Heavenly Cloud mountain range, groups of buildings were rising from the ground. That place was the Four Direction Martial Academy. In terms of scale, the Four Direction Martial Academy was even larger than the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. After all, the dean of the Four Direction Martial Academy was an early-stage Golden Core realm powerhouse. Saint Child Lu Yun, have you arrived? Upon seeing Lu Yun's arrival, Master Changshan greeted him personally. Lu Yun's eyes turned to a young boy and girl who followed behind Master Changshan. Both of them were about 10 years old, full of spirituality, and had extraordinary innate talent. I took these two little fellows as my disciples 2 days ago. Master Changshan smiled slightly and said to the two disciples, Qing'er Xianfeng, this is Saint Child Lu Yun, who not only possesses unparalleled talent, but also wields powerful divine abilities. Pay your respects quickly. Greetings to Saint Child Lu Yun. Although they didn't know what Saint Child meant, Qing'er and Xianfeng still respectfully bowed to Lu Yun. Lu Yun nodded slightly, then waved his sleeve and gave them each some spirit herbs. These spirit herbs had excellent effects for building one's foundation. Lu Yun had collected many spirit herbs and also had 2 herbs to improve innate talent. When he returned to Cloudwater County, he would have Lu He and Lu Yu take them. Upon seeing the spirit herbs in front of them, Qing'er and Xianfeng did not accept them immediately but looked at their master for guidance. True Master Yun Shan laughed and said, These are gifts from Saint Child Lu Yun. Just accept them. Thank you, Saint Child Lu Yun. The two accepted the spirit herbs in front of them and bowed in unison to Lu Yun again. Lu Yun waved his hand slightly and then said to True Master Yun Shan, One plan to borrow your sacred place for some cultivation, and I hope True Master Yun Shan can accommodate me. Upon hearing this, Master Changshan's old face revealed a hint of surprise, but he didn't ask questions. Instead, he just laughed and said, No problem. Saint Child Lu Yun, feel free to choose a place. I'll inform others not to approach it casually. Then, Lu Yun followed Master Changshan into Four Direction Martial Academy. At this point, the Four Direction Martial Academy was just an empty shell, apart from Master Changshan and the 2 new disciples he had accepted. There were only the manual laborers working on building the palace. However, the palaces and pavilions were almost finished, and the only thing left to do was to recruit disciples with innate talent in Four Direction Prefecture. Just then, Lu Yun's gaze was suddenly drawn to a building, Myriad Phenomena Tower. Looking at the magnificent and towering Myriad Phenomena Tower, which had dozens of floors, Lu Yun couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment. Having reached his current realm, very few external objects could astonish him. However, after seeing that Four Direction Martial Academy also had a Myriad Phenomena Tower, he was genuinely shocked. In his opinion, the Myriad Phenomena Tower was a trial place for the disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, and other academies should not have one. Strictly speaking, this is not the true Myriad Phenomena Tower, but a subentity of it, said Master Changshan, seeing the shocked expression on Lu Yun's face. The true Myriad Phenomena Tower is in the Origin Martial Academy, with a total of 72 floors. It is an existence above spiritual artifacts, a subentity of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. This was the first time Lu Yun had heard of it, but when he learned that the true Myriad Phenomena Tower had 72 floors, he was even more astonished. The Myriad Phenomena Tower of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy had only 36 floors. According to his knowledge, that Myriad Phenomena Tower was at the level of spirit artifact. The real Myriad Phenomena Tower had a total of 72 floors, which was terrifying. When one get to the Origin Martial Academy, I must take a good look at that myriad phenomena tower. Withdrawing his gaze from the towering myriad phenomena tower, Lu Yun said, I will cultivate in the back mountain, and there might be some disturbances. After speaking, he turned into a rainbow light and flew toward the back mountain. Master, what is a saint child? Qinger asked with a puzzled expression as Lu Yun's figure disappeared into the sky. Master Changshan said in a kind way, You will find out later. What you need to do now is to cultivate the martial arts skills that I have passed on to you and build a solid foundation. Then he slightly shook his head. Qinger and Xianfeng had innate talent of level 7 and level 8, respectively. Such talents were 1 in 10,000, standing at the apex of 99% of martial artists. But there was no chance they could become Saint Child. He didn't want to hit the confidence of his 2 disciples, so he did not tell them any related information about the Saint Child. While Lu Yun was in seclusion at 4 Direction Martial Academy, far away in the southern swamp of the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain. This was a rarely explored area, with large tracts of swamps and forests. Near the sea, there are rivers and lakes crisscrossing the land, with water covering most of the area. And now, in this swamp, a sacred white lotus emitting a holy aura slowly bloomed. As the white lotus exhaled spiritual breath, crocodiles in the swamp and other living creatures within the range of several tens of miles fell into a dreamlike state. With the passage of time, the vitality and souls of these creatures were gradually drained, turning into the withered corpses. This abnormality gradually aroused the vigilance of other living creatures and retreated from the area. In this way, this area of swamp became a forbidden zone for thousands of miles around, and very few living creatures dared to set foot in it. A young man with a handsome and elegant appearance, dressed in a blue robe, broke in. He was followed by many martial artists. At the forefront was a black-robed man who had a cultivated origin fluid realm in his breath. He looked at the young man who rushed into the swamp without hesitation and coldly said, By Fan, that is the death swamp, undoubtedly a way to seek death. The young man, named By Fan, didn't pay any attention to the other's words and staggered deeper into the swamp. At the same time, a dark fog rushed in, enveloping the entire swamp. The black-robed martial artist showed a worried expression as he looked at the black fog that was spreading. However, compared to the black fog, he was more fearful of the terror in the depths of the swamp. In the past, although the death swamp was terrifying, it was not considered a forbidden place. On the contrary, there were many spirit herbs in it, which was one of the places where adventurous martial artists sought chances. However, from a few months ago, living creatures in the death swamp were killed for no reason, and even the adventurous martial artists who entered it did not survive. Gradually, this place became a taboo area, feared by martial artists. When By Fan entered the depths of the death swamp, he saw the martial artists behind him not catching up and tragically knelt on the ground, his eyes red, shouting to the sky. His family, his father and siblings, were all killed by the Yang family. He escaped by a fluke, but was pursued thousands of miles, and had no choice but to flee into the death swamp. I, By Fan, will take this vow of vengeance for my father's murder and for my family's extermination, and have no peace until it is. By Fan roared and howled to the sky, and extreme hatred surged in his heart. He had blood-red eyes, and his blood vessels seemed to explode, making him look like a madman. At that moment, a beam of sacred light fell on his head. You want to take revenge, but with your skinny body and cultivation in the Meridian Passage realm, when can you take revenge? A frivolous and mocking voice suddenly sounded in By Fan's mind. I want to become stronger. I must kill all the members of the Yang family. I must take revenge. For this, I, By Fan, even if entering the Nine Nether and going to Huangquan, would not hesitate. By Fan's handsome face twisted. looking hideous like a fierce ghost. Chapter 517, Chapter 517, Chapter 279, The One Who Kills You, by Fan. Chapter 517, Chapter 279, The One Who Kills You, by Fan Lease, reading on Zavel. Holy light enveloped everything. In this silent swamp, by Fan's eyes were blood red, and his face twisted as he swore an oath. To avenge the blood enmity, even if my soul falls into depravity and never returns to the cycle of reincarnation, are you still willing? Bathed in the holy light, a cold and enchanting voice echoed in by Fan's cars, and it seemed to penetrate deep into his mind and soul. At the same time, the bloody scenes of his family being annihilated and his father being killed constantly replayed in his mind. What if the soul falls into depravity? What if it never returns to the cycle of reincarnation? I want revenge no matter the cost. Thinking of his father and family smiles and the bloody scenes when they were killed, by Fan took a deep breath and spoke with an icy voice. He had lost his father and his family, becoming a homeless dog, and had even been hunted to the death swamp. He had already lost everything. Why fear losing more? Fine, since that's the case, I will give you an opportunity. As the words fell, the holy light flickered, and then the black fog lingering over the swamp dissipated, revealing a hole-filled passage. I have prepared a bloodbath for you, which will allow your cultivation to advance quickly in a short time. Follow the guidance, and go ahead. By Fan glanced at the passage before him, his eyes flowing, and then, with a flash of his figure, entered the passage. The passage was made of white bones, but it exuded a holy aura, blocking the black fog on both sides. After an unknown amount of time, he arrived at the end of the passage, where there was a completely different world from the death swamp, like a cave heaven. A white lotus shrouded in holy light emitted spiritual aura and glimmers of colorful light. Many spiritual objects grew around it, cluttered together, making by Fan's eyes dazzle. What made him gasp even more was that under the white lotus seat there was a blood pool. The blood was emanating a powerful aura, clearly the blood of some terrifyingly powerful creature. What do you think of the opportunity one prepared for you? The previous voice, filled with ridicule, sounded again. Who ark you, and where ark you? By Fan stabilized his heart and looked around. No need to search. I am right in front of you. The white lotus trembled, emitting brilliant light and dispersing the boundless darkness. By Fan's gaze suddenly fell on the huge white lotus in front of him, and he was immediately stunned. You ark white lotus. The white lotus is me, but I am not the white lotus. Ignoring by Fan's confusion, the voice continued. This blood pool is composed of the blood of many high-ranking creatures, and it also contains a drop of my original fluid. It is enough for you to undergo a complete transformation. Upon hearing that it could bring a complete transformation, by Fan's heart couldn't help but tremble. If that were the case, he would be able to personally kill his enemies, which would be delightful. Thinking of this, by Fan gritted his teeth, stepped into the blood pool, and began to refine himself. He was not afraid of his soul falling into depravity and never returning to the cycle of reincarnation. So why would he consider whether this was a trap or not? Yang family, Yang Qianyuan, just wait. When I appear before you again, don't be afraid. Feeling his own strength continuously soaring, the flames of revenge burned in by Fan's eyes. On Four Direction Martial Academy's side, as Lu Yun cultivated in the back mountain, anomalies would occasionally occur. Every time he refined an imperishable golden bone, not only would it cause fluctuations in the heavenly and earthly spiritual qi, but it would also emit a strong wave. Lu Yun couldn't control this. The Great Sun Undying Golden Body was a sacred body cultivation technique, and the emergence of anomalies during cultivation proved its extraordinary nature. About a month later, Lu Yun's spirit crystals were reduced to less than half, but he had only successfully refined 30 imperishable golden bones. Looking at the less than 100,000 spirit crystals remaining, Lu Yun never thought that he would one day be short of spirit crystals. This great sun undying golden body consumes too many resources. Lu Yun shook his head helplessly. Let's temporarily stop cultivating the great sun undying golden body and wait until I have abundant resources or find an excellent place to cultivate. Immediately, Lu Yun looked inwards at his Yuan Hai. Above the surging golden Yuan Hai, a huge rune seed lay horizontally, emitting blazing golden light like a scorching sun releasing colorful rays. Surrounding it, several runes circulated, intertwined with a rich aura of law. 175 runes, each exuding different quantities of law. Among them, the weakest rune reached more than 1,200 laws, and the strongest rune had more than 2,500 laws engraved on it, like a golden river connecting the flesh, Yuan Hai, and rune seed. If other golden core realm martial artists saw this rune, they would probably be shocked with their jaws dropping. Those who had just entered the golden core realm, their strongest rune barely reached 1,000 laws. And in the middle of the golden core realm, they only managed to engrave 2,000 laws on a single rune. With rune seed realm cultivation, possessing such vast laws could only be achieved by a monstrous genius like Lu Yun. However, he was not satisfied with this. It's time to improve my cultivation. His gaze immediately fell on the panel. Name Lu Yun Power, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army Cultivation Techniques. Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Rune Seed Chapter, 10% Great Accomplishment, Wind, Thunder Manual, 3rd Layer. Instant Horizon 100%, 5th Scripture, 2nd Layer. Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, 1st Layer. Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art, 3rd Layer. One Invincible Strike 100%, Demon Slaying God Killing Saber, Divine Abilities 2nd Level. Heaven and Earth Draw Saber Slash, Divine Abilities 2nd Level. Chapter 518, Chapter 518, Chapter 279, The One Who Kills You, by fan_2, Chapter 518, Chapter 279, The One Who Kills You, by fan_2 Lise, reading on Zavel. M. Innate Talent. Level 10 Mortal Level Limit. Martial Arts. Late Stage of Rune Seed Realm. Energy Value 6. 575 million. Automatically increases by 100 daily. Conception. Slaughter Conception, 8th Stage 88%. Thunder Conception, 8th Stage 35%. Spatial Conception, 8th Stage 1%. Skills. Alchemy Technique, 7th Rank 1%. Talents. White Lotus Flame, 7th Rank 53%. Luck Value, 227. His thoughts settled on the Rune Seed chapter of the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon. Upgrade. He seemed to be immersed in an ocean of laws, constantly capturing them, imprisoning them with runes, and continuously strengthening himself. As Lu Yun fell into enlightenment, the back mountain of the 4-Direction Martial Academy was enveloped in absolute silence, with occasional golden light spreading over an area of several hundred miles. No wonder he's a saint child on par with the others. With such a short time in seclusion, he has made another significant breakthrough. Gazing at the golden misty area behind the mountain, Master Changshan showed a wistful expression. It took him 100 years of cultivation to reach the golden core realm, which could be described as exceptionally talented. However, compared with Lu Yun, he suddenly seemed overshadowed. Such a dense concentration of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi is almost comparable to the top cultivation grounds in the Origin Martial Academy. Thinking of this, Master Changshan acted swiftly, picking up Qing'er and Xianfeng and flying into the back mountain. The heavenly and earthly spiritual qi here is due to Saint Child Lu Yun's breakthrough. He doesn't need it, but you can use it to build your foundation. Qing'er and Xianfeng were stunned at first, then quickly realized and sat down cross-legged, beginning to practice their cultivation techniques and absorbing the surrounding spiritual qi. Although the Four-Direction Martial Academy was also rich in spiritual qi, it was incomparable to the back mountain at the moment. As the two of them circulated their martial arts and absorbed spiritual qi, their realms continuously improved, and they soon opened up their first meridian. Don't rush to increase your cultivation. Try to widen your meridians and lay a solid foundation. Master Changshan's voice was like a booming bell reaching into their ears. Qing'er gritted her teeth in pain, her little face covered in crystal-clear sweat. Opening meridian lines was an extremely painful process. Widening them caused even greater pain. But she didn't forget Master Changshan's words and kept absorbing spiritual qi to widen her meridian. After the first meridian was widened to the limit and could no longer endure, she continued to open the second meridian. Zuanfeng's will was even more determined than Qing'er's, as his talent was better. Being an 8-star innate talent, he was able to withstand greater limits. Master Changshan wasn't idle either. While closely watching his two disciples, he kept striking and tempering them to ensure a solid foundation without hidden dangers. Boom! Before long, Qing'er successively broke through the second and third meridian lines, each one exceptionally wide and tough. After all, with such thick, heavenly and earthly spiritual qi, plus the care of a Golden Core realm expert, Master Changshan couldn't help but smile at the scene. As for Master Changshan, both Qing'er and Xianfeng were extremely talented disciples. Both were geniuses destined to enter the Rune Seed realm in the future. Given the opportunity, they might even have a chance to break through to the Golden Core realm. Of course, Lu Yun saw all of this, but as Master Changshan said, the spiritual qi here was stirred up by his breakthrough, and it didn't have much use for him. When Qing'er had maximally widened her fifth meridian and was about to proceed to the sixth, Master Changshan stopped her. Qing'er, although you have expanded each meridian to the limit, consecutively expanding so many meridians has reached the limit for your body. If you continue to open meridians, it will damage your foundation. Wait until it is fully consolidated and strengthened before continuing to cultivate. Upon hearing this, Qing'er finally stopped cultivating, her face showing an expression of reluctance. However, she didn't dare to disobey her master's advice. Although she didn't know what realm her master was at, she believed he was omnipotent. The anomaly in the back mountain of the Four-Direction Martial Academy lasted for another half-month. At the same time, in the Death Swamp, a handsome young man was constantly refining blood, his cultivation steadily rising. After completely refining his blood, his aura had reached a terrifying level. Above his head, a sacred white lotus bloomed, like a pure sky. This youth was none other than Bai Fan. However, compared to half a month ago, Bai Fan's personality had changed, becoming more calm and restrained. He was no longer naive and full of hatred as before. Yang family, Yang Qianyun, is this your final obsession? Bai Fan's eyes narrowed slightly as he pondered. Although he was still the same youth filled with hatred, his soul had actually changed. Since I've taken over your body, your hatred is mine. Go in peace. As his words fell, the emaciated soul hidden deep in his sea of consciousness completely dissipated. From now on, there would be no more Sidhu Shah in the world, only Bai Fan. Bai Fan reached out, and the sacred white lotus, radiating holy light, flew into his palm. This object was the nine-turn pure heart white lotus. At Plate City, in Four Directions Prefecture, there was a luxurious and extravagant mansion. The entire mansion covered a vast area with artificial mountains, strange rocks, pavilions, corridors, gardens, ponds, and multiple practice venues for martial arts. At a glance, this mansion occupied nearly 1/10 of Plate City's East District. This mansion was none other than the ancestral home of the Yang family in Plate City. Originally, the Plate City Yang family was one of the subordinate forces of the Red Sun sect, but a few months ago, they announced their separation from the Red Sun sect and unconditionally accepted the jurisdiction of the governor's mansion of Four Direction Prefecture. Since they were the first family to pledge allegiance to the governor's mansion, their reputation in Plate City skyrocketed once again. Nowadays, the vast Plate City was virtually dominated by the Yang family alone. Their patriarch, Yang Qianyuan, was a legendary figure with wise and decisive actions. After the collapse of the Red Moon Demon sect, he promptly cut ties with the sect. At this moment, he was at the Yang family's practice field, watching the many young clan members. His authoritative voice rang out. In 3 days, the enrollment examination of the Four Direction Martial Academy will begin. Perform well and strive to become the first batch of students of the Martial Academy, so you can strengthen our Yang family in the future. Yes, Patriarch. More than a dozen young men and women responded, and longing filled their eyes. The term Martial Academy was unfamiliar to them, but it did not prevent them from eagerly chasing after it, because they had been told by their elders that martial academies were similar to sects, but their foundation and heritage were far beyond what ordinary sects could compare. As long as they entered the academy, they would become the new nobility of the Four Directions Prefecture. Just then, a sinister youth dressed in green quietly entered the Yang family compound. The guards seemed not to notice him, allowing him free entry. As the sinister youth passed by, a white mist emerged, and then nearby martial artists, one after another, collapsed. Strange enough, these martial artists all had smiles on their faces, as if they had entered a wonderful dream. "So you are Yang Qianyuan?" The sinister youth appeared before Yang Qianyuan, a smile in his eyes. Who are you?" Yang Qianyuan was shocked by this sudden turn of events, and his voice trembled a little. The sinister youth frowned slightly, then pointed his finger. A burst of light shot out, and Yang Qianyuan, who was at the peak of the origin fluid realm, had his right arm cut off at the shoulder. "Whoever you are, if you attack me, Yang Qianyuan, Plate City will not have a place for you, nor will Four Direction Prefecture, and even the entire Scarlet Moon Demon Domain will have no place for you to stay." Enduring intense pain, Yang Qianyuan threatened the sinister youth. Now that the Four Direction Prefecture was fully established, their Yang family, as the largest family in Plate City, had made a huge contribution to maintaining the stability of the city. The prefecture lord had promised that Yang Qianyuan would be the lord of Plate City. If the youth killed him, it would be equivalent to killing a court officer and opposing Morijin. "It seems you don't learn your lesson." The sinister youth shook his head slightly, then flicked his finger. Another powerful light flew out, cutting off Yang Qianyuan's other arm. "I, Yang Qianyuan, am the Plate City Lord personally appointed by the Prefecture Lord of Four Direction Prefecture. If you kill me, you will be opposing the county governor and the entire Morijin. You better think about the consequences." Yang Qianyuan's voice trembled as he could feel the strength of this person. In front of him, he was no different from a child. "It seems I haven't mistaken my target." The sinister youth's pupils flickered with light, and he said with a faint smile, "Remember, the one who killed you is a survivor of the Bai family, Bai Fan." Chapter 519, Chapter 519, Chapter 280, Dragon Lake City, Duga Shan Xian, Chapter 519, Chapter 280, Dragon Lake City, Duga Shan Xian Lise, reading on Zavel. The news of the extermination of the Yang family of Plate City overnight spread quickly throughout the Four Direction Prefecture, causing unrest among the people. Gu Shenzhong immediately dispatched the commander of the Qilin army to investigate, but it came up empty-handed. The only discovery was that nearly 1,000 people of the Yang family had died in their dreams, with the exception of the family head, Yang Qianyuan. Moreover, there were no signs of fighting at the scene, nor was it clear who or what kind of power was behind this. However, one thing was certain: there were still many hidden dangers in the Four-Direction Prefecture. Half a month later, Lu Yun finally left seclusion. At this moment, his cultivation had astonishingly reached the perfection of the rune seed realm, and the law aura surrounding him became even stronger, with a faint Tao rhyme in his movements. It happened that the Four-Direction Martial Academy was holding disciple recruitment exams, and Master Changshan and his 2 disciples were busy. Lu Yun did not disturb them, and left the Four-Direction Martial Academy alone. At this time, the internal and external threats in the Four-Direction Prefecture had been resolved by Changfeng, and the Demon Suppression Army had already left, returning to Skypool City. As for Lu Yun, he planned to undergo his final tempering in the nearby sea area. 2 days later, outside Plate City, Lu Yun frowned slightly as he heard some rumors along the way. The nearly 1,000 members of the Yang family of Plate City had died in some strange way. Woof woof, a black dog barked softly, looking at Lu Yun with rolling eyes, extremely on guard. Lu Yun gently touched the black dog, and a ball of light entered its body. The dog immediately became well-behaved, lying on the ground and wagging its tail gently. Entering the Yang residence, Lu Yun slowly closed his eyes. His senses of hearing and smell instantly increased several times. A gentle breeze brushed by, bringing with it the faint scent of blood. Besides that, there was also a faint fragrance. This fragrance was extremely faint, almost imperceptible. Lu Yun opened his eyes, and a hint of disappointment flashed across his face. This kind of method isn't something ordinary people can handle. Is it the remnants of the Red Cloud demon sect, or someone from other sects? Lu Yun shook his head slightly and waved his hand. A rune flew out, drawing on a large amount of laws, and fell upon the corpses in the courtyard. Immediately afterward, he turned and left. Following that, the golden light on the corpses lying on the ground flickered and slowly dissipated. As the corpses disappeared, the lingering evil qi and bloody smell in the air gradually faded away. Arriving at the entrance of the courtyard, the well-behaved black dog was still lying on the ground. Upon seeing Lu Yun approaching, its tail, which had a tuft of white fur, began to waggle. "You seem to know something?" Lu Yun walked over slowly, picked up the black dog from the ground, gently stroked its soft ears, and a faint golden glow emanated, soon covering the black dog completely. Suddenly, a mental thought rushed into the sea of consciousness. It was a blurry scene, a bustling street, where a sinister young man suddenly appeared in front of the Yang residence. The martial artist guarding the entrance seemed completely unaware of the young man's arrival, allowing him to enter the Yang residence unobstructed. Soon, an imperceptible glow emerged, causing the martial artist to freeze in place, then smile and slowly fall to the ground. At this point, the scene stopped. However, Lu Yun noticed that the young man had glanced in this direction. No, he had glanced at this little black dog. For some reason, he did not harm the dog. This person is using illusions or spiritual power to kill. It's hard to gauge his strength, but considering the size of Plate City, he only killed the Yang family and none of the other citizens. He didn't even harm a dog, so it's very likely that he was seeking revenge. Seeking revenge is justified, and I don't seem to have an excuse to intervene. Shaking his head slightly, Lu Yun disappeared into the streets. The little black dog, holding 100-year-old spirit herb in its mouth, waggled its tail nonstop as it watched the figure gradually disappearing from the street. "Little Black, how did you get to this place again? You made me look for you for so long." Accompanied by a light, agile voice, A little girl in an apricot yellow skirt ran over and picked up the little black dog in her arms. Huh, isn't this enlightenment grass? The little girl looked at the half-eaten spirit herb in the black dog's mouth, then hesitated, her eyes turning to the Yang family's courtyard inside the gate. She hurriedly took the little black dog and left. Half a month later, outside a huge city in the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, everywhere you looked, there were endless city walls and crisscrossing rivers. This place used to be a very glorious, huge city in the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain with a population and prosperity level enough to rank in the top 10. At this moment, there was no sign of life, making this huge city look desolate. As the setting sun stretched shadows long, Lu Yun stepped towards the huge city. He crossed the moat and came directly under the magnificent city gate. He looked up and saw several large characters written in a dragon and phoenix script on the gate. Dragon Lake City. Dragon Lake City was an independent city equivalent to a sect on its own. It was said that the city lord of Dragon Lake City was a powerful golden core realm cultivator, which allowed him to occupy the city alone. However, several months ago, just when the Morijin Demon Suppression Army invaded the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, Dragon Lake City was suddenly attacked by an unknown force. The city's millions of inhabitants disappeared without a trace, and even the Golden Core Realm City, Lord of Dragon Lake City, did not survive. This was a very strange incident. Some powerful individuals from the Demon Suppression Army had come to investigate, but they never returned. Chapter 520, Chapter 520, Chapter 280, Dragon Lake City, Duga Shanshian _2, Chapter 520, Chapter 280, Dragon Lake City, Duga Shanshian _2 lease, reading on Zavel. Gradually, it caught the attention of the higher-ups of the Demon Suppression Army, who even sent a heavenly-level demon extermination general to investigate personally. But undoubtedly, that Golden Core Realm Cultivator also lost contact, and that heavenly-level demon extermination general was none other than Dugu Shanshian. Once on the battlefield, Lu Yun was attacked by Sect Master Yin Wujia of the Netherworld Sect, and was suppressed by the Netherworld Gate. It was Dugu Shanshian who came to his aid, allowing Lu Yun to escape. Lu Yun has always remembered such kindness, so he abandoned his mental training right away when he received the news from Dugu Yuan and came to Dragon Lake City. Dugu Shanshian and the Demon Suppression Army have lost contact for 2 days now. It's likely a bad situation. I must hurry. As his finger, containing immense power, landed on the city wall, a powerful shield was immediately activated. It seems that the culprit causing changes in Dragon Lake City is still here. Lu Yun muttered quietly. Boom! With a slight clench of his fist, a roar in the void resounded. Within Lu Yun's body, a terrifying power condensed, as if one punch could shatter the void before him. With the strength of my current physical body, I can suppress even a late-stacked Golden Core Realm expert, so a mere shield couldn't possibly stop me. Lu Yun's eyes shone brightly, and immediately the 35 imperishable golden bones within him were activated, and the explosive force was released. Asterisk crack. Asterisk at that moment. The barrier enveloping the city wall and covering the sky and earth was shattered. The powerful aftermath caused the huge city to sway and the moat to surge with waves. Lu Yun's eyes suddenly sparkled as he looked towards the end of the city gate. Boom, boom, boom. The ground rumbled, and an endless stream of blazing heat converged. Amidst that enormous fireball, there was an extremely sinister and dark aura. With these two extreme attributes combined, Lu Yun slightly frowned. And more importantly, Lu Yun noticed a familiar figure within that fireball. Dugu Shanshian? With a flash in his eyes, Lu Yun immediately guessed the other's identity. However, Dugu Shanshian's current state was quite unnatural and far from normal. Gone were the days of his domineering prowess, replaced by rigidity and sinisterness. Kill. The moment Dugu Shanxian saw Lu Yun, he uttered a cold word from his mouth, releasing an explosive killing intent. The sea of fire that enveloped his body spread at an incredibly fast pace, attacking Lu Yun. This powerful flame greatly exceeded the might of 7th rank White Lotus Flame. Even an 8th stage White Lotus Flame would be inferior in terms of power and explosiveness. And within this flame, there was a sinister and dark force. This force was faintly familiar to Lu Yun. He seemed to have encountered it somewhere before, but he could not remember the specific time or place. Sky Lion shaking the sky. With a squint of his eyes, Lu Yun looked at the terrifying incoming sea of fire. He swung his arm, and a powerful force erupted, shattering the sea of fire. A cultivator at the early stage of the Golden Core realm was practically nothing to the current Lu Yun. To prevent any harm to Dugu Shanxian, Lu Yun merely used less than 30% of his strength. However, the result was somewhat unexpected for Lu Yun. This punch did not have any effect on Dugu Shanxian and barely managed to break his attack. His strength has increased, reaching the mid-stage of the Golden Core realm. Surprise flashed in Lu Yun's eyes. Although he didn't know much about Dugu Shanxian, he knew that he was similar to Dugu Yuan. It wasn't easy for an early-stage Golden Core realm cultivator to advance to the mid-stage Golden Core realm without a great fortune. It is absolutely impossible to break through within a few years or even more than a decade. Now, in this battle, the opponent's strength is definitely not as simple as the early stage of the Golden Core realm, even compared to Mo Wuzong. It's not much weaker. At the moment when Lu Yun was surprised, a flaming long knife had already appeared in Dugu Shangshuan's hand, and the scorching flame ripped through the sky, bringing with it a howling sound, slashing horizontally. Lu Yun concentrated his mind, and then urged the imperishable golden bones on his arms to grab the terrifying flame-long knife, and then pointed at Dugu Shangshuan's eyebrows to forcibly stop him and investigate the situation. However, just as Lu Yun's spiritual power was about to invade Dugu Shangshuan's sea of consciousness, it was suddenly repelled by a powerful spiritual force. Following that, Dugu Shanxian became even more ruthless, and the sinister and dark power surrounding him began to increase. Damn it! Has he been controlled by someone? Lu Yun was angry and shocked at the same time. Dugu Shanxian, a dignified Golden Core realm powerhouse, a cultivator of martial arts almost standing at the pinnacle of the martial arts pyramid, was actually controlled by someone whose strength had reached an incredibly terrifying level. Die! Dugu Shangshuan's gaze suddenly became sharp, and he no longer appeared dull. Over 80 runes, filled with a massive amount of law aura, were added to the flame long knife, attacking Lu Yun. Chi, chi, chi. The towering city wall collapsed with a bang. Countless surrounding buildings turned into dust, and in the end, all that remained was the earth-shattering long knife and the endless sea of fire. Looking at the crazy Dugu Shanxian, Lu Yun had a bad taste in his heart. The other party had shown kindness to him in the past, but now he found himself in such a situation, which filled his heart with sympathy. However, he absolutely couldn't let this madness continue. Otherwise, when his potential was completely exhausted, his downfall would come. Forcing his strength to the late stage of the Golden Core realm was a huge consumption for Dugu Shangshuan's physical body. I can only wrong you for a while. As he spoke, he transformed into a purple bolt of lightning and rushed over. With a bang, Lu Yun's aura became stronger. He threw a punch wrapped in a torrential divine might and smashed it towards Dugu Shanxian. At this time, Dugu Shanxian had no scruples about stimulating his potential, and his strength was approaching the late Golden Core realm. Lu Yun dared not be too reserved. Additionally, Without hurting his foundation, he tried his best to subdue him as soon as possible, and he had to bring out his full strength. Dugu Shangshuan's scarlet eyes glowed brighter, revealing a glimmer of fierceness. He did not avoid the attack, but instead approached, his whole body burning with a scorching flame that seemed to scorch the void. His long knife was covered in runes, and the aura of laws was as vast as an ocean. "I'm sorry." Lu Yun's fist, containing the imperishable golden bones, fell heavily, slashing the flame-long knife away, and sweeping his fist with terrifying residual power towards Dugu Shangshuan's body. Crack! The sound of bones rattling was deafening, and the hand holding the knife suddenly drooped down. Dugu Shanshian flew backwards through the air, and then Lu Yun transformed into a purple lightning and chased after him, pointing again at his eyebrows, only to be blocked by his single arm. Following that, Dugu Shanshian rotated his body, swinging his legs continuously, kicking at Lu Yun. His legs were like an endless phantom, blood-red in color, with flames surging around, aiming only at Lu Yun's vital points. Lu Yun flipped his body, stepped on the air, and flew over like a shooting star. He stomped on Dugu Shanshian with a foot from midair, knocking him heavily onto the ground, creating a gigantic crater. "Suppress!" With a low shout from Lu Yun, a black light refracted from his feet, and the netherworld gate turned into a huge doorway, quickly suppressing Dugu Shanshian. As the netherworld gate appeared, the void shuddered, and the entire city seemed to explode. The netherworld gate was of an incredibly high level, close to a mid-level treasure artifact. With the support of the seven-color stone, it could almost rival top-grade treasures, and its suppressing power was unimaginable. Dugu Shanshian tried to stand up, but under the powerful suppression of the netherworld gate, he couldn't succeed. Instead, he sank deeper and deeper into the ground. Lu Yun slowly landed and walked towards Dugu Shanshian, who was suppressed to the ground. Looking at his ferocious face and trembling body, Lu Yun flicked his finger, and a golden rune flew out, landing on Dugu Shangshuan's body. "Humph, let me see who it is that has controlled you." Lu Yun once again pointed at Dugu Shangshuan's eyebrows.